Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. What's up, my beautiful people?
Hello.
Hello, my love.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, wow.
Problem. Yeah. Hunger boy.
Do you know
Natalie,
what?
cut and swallow
I'm
away.
trying to. What'd you say, Des?
I said, Natalie, cut and swallow away.
Yeah, do your thing. This show, who said it? Quincy was like, this show is so black. You lot just do what you want on this show, but it's just like, I don't do this.
We try to make everybody, we try to accommodate everybody and make sure everybody feels comfortable. If you're feeling a little bit peckish, you're not going to be on top performance. So, yeah, put a little sustenance in your stomach.
Has to be done.
You can't really see my t-shirt. Can you see it?
Yep, stamp.
Yeah.
So I got a medical t-shirt. So, but Debbie, the reason I cut into that is because everyone's hungry. So I'm trying to eat a little bit better for health reasons, like I've explained to you both. And so I'm trying to do like a smoothie or 2 smoothies and 1 healthy meal. But just before I said to you, Desmond, I'm gonna go and make a smoothie because I'm hungry. I had vegetables today, but no carb. But I can't do it, you know. I have to have a carb. So then Desmond come on with his tea and his sandwich, and I was like, I'm gonna go and make a smoothie. And then I was like, no, bun that. I'm gonna make a flipping little roll thing. But I'm trying to eat a little bit better so I can lose weight for. Can't even see it.
Lose weight? Listen, you fine as you are. Lose what weight, Trish?
Belly. It's belly.
Yeah, we all have one.
Some of us have 2. So I get worried about your one, baby.
Oh, dear.
The Goody's got to get me a t-shirt that is in a darker font so you can see it on camera. Yeah.
Goody's got to get me a t-shirt that's extra large.
And whilst everyone is on what Goody's got to get them, Goody's got to get me a ticket to go Abu Dhabi. His eye.
Boy, you be standing at the
Listen, I'll be standing at the airport.
You be standing at the airport. You know when you got the hat with the conkers on it, or the little you just be standing there with your suitcase. And your little hat, because Goody's not bringing over nobody.
Oh, God, I'll be there at departures and just make my way around to arrivals in about 10 days' time.
Oh, dear. All right, so you still eat. Should I go into the show? Have you finished eating? What should I do?
No, it's fine. I'm
go into it?
Gonna,
all right.
Yeah.
So
we're back. Do you know that I forgot about today? I really felt like Nigel's thing was last week, and I keep doing that. I keep thinking that that was last week.
Because there's so much going on at the moment. It's like everything's just running fast. And like I was saying, we didn't do no promotion for No Bravado this week because it's like it come to me yesterday, like, oh shit, No Bravado's tomorrow. When the thing flashed up on my phone, like, oh my God, like, so much going on. But you know what I mean? We just do it for the love, innit? So it is what it is.
100%,
but
100%.
DJ Omar is watching. It says greetings from NYC. brothers and sisters from NYC tuned in, says Eve Hines. Hey, hon. Vicky Omar, hey, gorgeous. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. We miss you. Gary's watching. Hey, Gary. Feel free to jump on if you want, Gary. I'll send you the link. I just don't want to keep asking. You know, when people think I got that better to do with my Tuesdays. Every minute. Do you know what I mean?
No, like you said earlier, we do it for the love. So
we do it for the love. We do. And I do love the Bravado. I swear, it's the best. All right. So,
sorry, yeah. So what's new with us? I think we've mentioned it a few times that we have partnered up with Two Inspired Academy to bring to you the Black Excellence CIC. So what that does is we look at celebrating and elevating Black-owned businesses and service providers by giving them a platform via our numerous events, market stalls, and workshops. So if you have a Black-owned business and you want to register with us, then you can register with us at blackexcellencecic@gmail.com.
hey.
Don't know if you want to add anything to that, Trush.
No, not really. Other than because there's so much going on. Like I was speaking to Charlene yesterday, and Charlene was like, "Explain to me what's going on for you." Because it's like, "Are you all right?" "Yeah, I'm all right." "What's going on?" And it's everything and nothing. So I tried to break it down to her yesterday what was happening, and like we haven't gone public with this, but we closed our studio, Brandon Buffet studio, because the landlord tripled the rents. So this was meant to be a project that was meant to help small businesses. It opened during the pandemic. We spent a lot of time trying to build it up, but the landlord has basically said that they've lost money running the project, so they have to triple the rents, which of course pushes us out because what was meant to be affordable rents is now no longer affordable. So it's a lot of like eye-opening things that are happening, and I say all of that to say that we don't have our own resources. We don't have our own buildings. We don't have our own, do you know what I mean? Network. We don't have our own nothing. So if you then take yourself and put yourself in an establishment that's meant to be helping you, but then for whatever reason, they've got to triple the rents and it forces you out of, then you kind of back to square one, isn't it? So this is why What Next and Black Excellence is so important. And there's loads of kind of organizations out there at the moment that are doing the Black Excellence and Black owned and coming together and doing stuff. But I think there's room for everybody. I think we should be collaborating rather than competing. And I think the more of us that are out here trying to build some sort of foundation so that we have resources of our own, so that we are not found in a position where actually you have to fold a section of your business because you have no control over that. So this is a movement. It's going to take ages to build, like What Next has taken ages to build. We've had to stop, start, pause, start again, re-strategize. But it's something that we will continue to do because I'm passionate about black economics. I'm passionate. And like I'm saying, we're saying this and then you're living the experience. So it's not as if we're just saying it for saying its sake. There's got to be it's time now for us to build our own networks, come together and spend our pound with each other, come and like really just build up so that we have got some resources that we can actually depend on, as opposed to being, you know what I mean, just.
What's the take up been since you've been promoting this, putting this out there, in terms of businesses coming on board?
Yeah, go on that.
To be fair, we haven't really been promoting it. Probably as you see us promote other things, we haven't been promoting it yet, because if we're honest, there's still quite a lot of work to do behind the scenes, and there's still some little nitbits that we're kind of finalizing with regards to dates and stuff like that. So we haven't been pushing it like we will do once we kind of get the last little I's dotted and T's crossed. But people are interested. People are interested. So
I think it's
hopefully...
I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea. I think it gives an element of control amongst black businesses, stops you getting elbowed out by, you know, the big corporations who are only doing it for profit and trying to make money, as opposed to helping the next person to take that next step. So I hopefully when you guys are ready to do that, every single member of No Bravado will get that on their Facebook. They will get that posted out there, so it can get to as many eyes and ears as possible.
Yeah. So it's time to just stop talking and keep doing. And you know, like it is downheartening when you put a lot of effort into something and then through no control of your own, you're forced to, you know, so people might say, well, actually that season's done, you know, everything's for a reason and all the rest of it. But my kind of lesson in that is, it's unless it's your own, then it's temporary. So for our community, we don't have anything, which means, you know, there's few of us that own there's a lot of us that own homes, don't get me wrong, but home ownership has become more difficult. So if, you know, so many things have become so difficult to attain. So if we don't band together and if we don't kind of stay focused on building our own economics like every other community out there, then we're going to often find ourselves in a position where it's temporary. Your resources can be pulled. Do you know what I mean? But we keep pushing, we keep going.
And I just hope and pray that what don't happen is a crab in a barrel mentality. I'm hoping that each one will pull the next one to become successful, as opposed to pulling down people, because unfortunately I see that a lot. So I'm hoping.
I think you're always going to get elements of it, or ones that creep in are like that. It's just thinking through that, I think, because
don't let it deter you, and just
not letting it deter you.
Push through, 100%,
and keeping it moving.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen so you can go into your hot topic. Natalie told me about this today. I didn't go on social media at all yesterday, which was kind of bad because I promised that I was going to get back on my social media. But when it's not my day to post as such, I might post and then run off of social media. I might not think. So I missed a whole mollywhopping that took place in Alabama. Let me share my screen so you guys can see.
Oh, yes.
Right. I've missed everything.
Listen. Anyway,
all right. Don't say anything yet, Des. Wait.
I love it when we come together.
Confrontation with the owner of the boat. Those guys are we all got to throw your ass in the water.
Hang on. That's not the video that I found.
No. There's two parts. That's the first part. There should be a second part to that video.
There's so many parts, and they're all
That's
brilliant.
The first part.
They are, but the second part was excellent.
This is amazing. Get in there.
So wait. Let me go back. Hang on, because I watched it. Remember when I was watching it with you? So it's the mirror. So let me see if it's this one. on. Let's try again. Video still loading. And we should basically say that there's a trigger warning on this. So if you don't like violence, it's establishing a connection. Like violence, come on. Today. Oh, my bloody internet.
We're not promoting violence. However, we are promoting standing up for yourself.
Sometimes you have to get Black Panther on people's asses and get them together.
Trying to refresh it now.
Listen, they were doing WWE, WWF, and everything in between.
Get him. Get him.
What happened to this thing, man? It's really going on. Hang on, let me see if it's going to... Oh, it doesn't want to do it. I think they removed, because you said you couldn't find it anywhere, innit, Nat?
I couldn't find it. No, it was on all the social media platforms.
You not talk about it. Talk about it. Let me see if I can find.
Listen, when I first started watching it, I said, "Oh, here we go," because I don't like to watch things.
Can you hear me?
So yeah. So I saw them tagging him.
I'm going to see if I can send you. It's not the little small one because this is the one that was being commentated over, but the commentary was kind of funny.
See if you can. It played all right before the show, and now all of a sudden it wants to do dumbness. Right, I think this is it now. Hang on.
Get in that ass.
The commentary was hilarious. That was the one that I wanted to show.
Listen, that lady, yeah, she should get a job doing sound effects. She was brilliant.
See it now. Nah, it's not even the right one. I don't know where they've all gone.
No, that's the first part.
Look how many of them is on him. It's the Mad Smith.
I think it was like 5 or 6.
Male and female as well.
Yeah.
Get up there, young boy. Get up there, young boy. Get up there, young.
It's the guy who swam across the water to get there.
Michael Phelps.
Isn't it?
What's up?
This is the bit.
Yeah.
Woo! Pow!
Woo! They mad. Look out. They mad. Woo! Beat their ass. Oh my God. Woo! That what you get. That what you get. That what you get. Oh, tie her ass up. She whooping her ass. She finna put her ass up. Cause y'all were wrong. You saw. Boom. 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 He jumped in the water. Yeah. Get in their ass. Oh, look at the brawl. The brawl jumping their ass. Cause y'all were wrong for jumping on that black man like that, baby. I thought we're
All right, so we get the gist. commentary. What do you guys think?
For me, it was. I mean, I'm looking at it holistically. Apparently, the black guy, the security guard, was pleading. He wasn't being aggressive. He was talking to them politely, wanting them to move their boat. The whole big, massive boat needed to come and dock. And as a result of him asking them politely to move it, they then 5 people, 6 people jumped him and started to beat the living daylights out of him. Now, what was really nice was seeing the people come from left and right, running to his aid. The crew members, because they were the crew members that were on the boat that came and rushed the other people. The crew members were having none of it. It was just nice to see them saying, no, you're not doing this in our small town. We are all going to back each other. What you did to that security guard was ridiculous. And here's your comeuppance. And it was nice to see them get their just desserts in real time. I mean, there were some people jumping in the water to escape the arse whooping. And that, for me, hilarious.
It was brilliant.
I support that 100%. And what was even nicer, because you know, sometimes in our community, when we see certain things going on, everyone's like, oh, we don't want to be the snitch, we don't want to be a rat, etc., etc. No, the amount of people that was like, no, you need to come and arrest these folk, you need to come and get these people, arrest them. They started it. Yeah, that one in the t-shirt, they were giving descriptions. Yeah, the one with the long hair, the curly perk, in there, in the white t-shirt. Yeah, go and get him. She over there. It was absolutely lovely seeing justice handed out to people who fought.
Amazing. Honestly, that's the best video I've seen this year. Real talk. I don't care. Cancel me. I'll take it because it's the best video I've seen all year. They said not today.
Yeah. You're not going to lynch another one of us. No way. We know it's Deep South. We know it's Alabama. It has a history of that. And we, in 2023, are not prepared to watch a lynching of a black man. We're not having
You're not doing it.
Everybody went and showed them this is what happens when we can come together as a collective.
We're strong, you know. Listen. They couldn't, not one-on-one could handle any one-on-one there.
And it's the fact that they thought that they were the big I am. They were stepping to this one guy. And even when the crowd come, you saw the 2 that came forward, put their dukes up, and then saw the size of the 4 black men walking towards them and thought, I don't want none of this smoke. How do I get out of this? How do I get out of here?
Started running back to the boat.
They run back to anything. Some ran back to the boat. Some just jumped in the water. Some people was just like, on my way out of here. Do you get me? If somebody had dropped a rope ladder, there would have been somebody climbing up to the pier to get out of. They wanted none of that smoke, considering they were the ones who started to fan the flames. So they got exactly what they deserved. Exactly that.
It was so... I know this sounds bad. I hate seeing fights online. I hate it. I don't watch them. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that.
Listen.
I have watched that shit over and over again. I'm just so proud of us in that moment. Because sometimes you just got to let people know that when you fuck around, you find out. And I'm telling you now, that will be the last time that family ever think to do that. Because not only did you take licks, every single one of you, the dad, the matriarch of the family, the dad, that there was no one. You went through to the big boss. You all lost. You lost to black people. So I know that upset you. The humiliation is everywhere.
Because that's gone viral. So everyone's going to see you get your ass handed to you in 4K. Do you understand? And in this day and age, we get to rewind, we get slow-mo, You could actually say, yeah, that was a right hook, that was a straight cross. You get to see every tump that was thrown. And I'm here for all of that. And that black lady who was doing all the sound effects, I think she missed her vocation. I'm showing my age here, but I don't know how many of you guys remember the old Batman where they used to have the little speech bubbles. Pow, kapow. That's all that was missing, those speech bubbles around her commentary. As she was giving the sound effects, we just missed the speech bubble.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious. So
it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, going back to what I was saying earlier in terms of us sticking together and us coming together and stuff like that, it's obviously violence is not the best way, but it is time that we start to defend each other. It is time that, because that could have gone another way. That could have been another George Floyd. That could have been someone videoing in the background whilst they beat the shit out of him because he asked them to move their boat. And then when you bring up racism, people act like it's in your mind. There's no such thing. It doesn't occur. It's in your mind. We don't know. We don't understand. So it's institutionalized. It's outright. It's ingrained. And like me and Natalie was having a conversation the other day. I think it was just yesterday. And we both kind of come up with like mice are like black people are like the mice of society. And the reason we say that is because, me included, I don't really know, like we know facts about mice, don't get me wrong, and this is just a metaphor. I'm not saying black people are mice, but it's like we are. Because 9 times out of 10, they're just trying to get some food and go about their business. But everyone's frightened of them. They put down traps for them. They want to poison them. They bash them in their heads with, like, we kill them on sight. And that's on sight. And all they're trying to do is survive and get some food. So it kind of feels like we are the mice of society. You can't even open up your mouth and say, can you move the boat so that this other boat can dock? You're going to kill me out here because I said that. So,
and it wasn't done with anger. It wasn't done disrespectfully. I mean, that would be one thing if he was talking down to them. He was pleading with them. He was talking to them on a level.
Yeah, but you can't, because we can. Like, they're talking about new suspects in Stephen Lawrence's case. How many years later we're talking about new suspects? So, look how Doreen Lawrence had to campaign to get the justice that she got. Because they just murdered their son because they felt like it, because he was black. But yet racism doesn't exist. We can throw little microaggressions at you over a period of time, and expect it not to have any kind of effect on your mental health or on your confidence or on your well-being. So in all areas, it's in the workplace, it's on the road when you're just going for a walk, it's everywhere. It is here, and it's in this country, and it's around the world. But being a black Brit in this country, you feel it the most. Because, I mean, someone said to me the other day, like, where are you from? And my initial response was, I don't know. So I know my mum is from Barbados. I know my dad is from Montserrat. But in terms of where I am from originally, I have no idea. Then we had another set of, like, I don't know, Windrush was a good thing, and I think that generation definitely has to be saluted. But at the same time, it kind of reminds me of, you brought our people over here to build up the country again, and then when you was ready to say, we want you out, and come out or you can't come back, people lost their homes during that whole thing, and the cycle continues.
See, for me, the Windrush was slavery part 2. And
right.
Because slavery part 1 was you came and forcibly removed us. So rather than replaying that same playbook again, this time you pretended to invite us. But as we were getting off the boat, we weren't wanted here. No. Nobody wanted to house us. Nobody wanted us to do the jobs that they claimed that we were being brought here of which to do. As soon as we fixed up the country, their whole idea was, and now you can come, work, sort this out, and then we'll send you back. They had no intention of our parents staying here. Otherwise, they would have dealt with us properly at the first port of call when we got here.
So out of that generation came us. So our parents never really felt, and grandparents never felt welcome, because like you just said, it wasn't the intent for us to stay. But then we were born here, and I don't feel like I remember talking to someone about this in Barbados when I went out there to live for a couple of months. And she said, I couldn't imagine living somewhere that I'm calling home, but I don't feel welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is here. And then you've got like Black women like me, that I'm articulate, I'm direct, I'm clear, and I'm methodical in my approach, but you're not allowed to be. And you need to code switch in order to make people feel comfortable. And I remember having one of the most interesting text dialogues with Gary, and we was talking about code switching and how it can affect your mental health, because who are you? So you're not allowed to be yourself. You're not allowed to, you're just not allowed to exist. And if you open your mouth, there's a good possibility that we will kneel on your neck, and there's not a fuck you can do about it. So like you guys, I'm proud that we all rallied together, because they might have just saved that man's life. And we have to fight in all corners when we have this, in the workplace, on the road, wherever it may be. We have to band together, and we have to fight for our lives now. It's time.
Funny you should say that, because I mean, it was perfect. It happened today. It was on the train when I was on my way home, and I thought to myself, I'll bring this up on No Bravado. And it was, I know her now to be 18, but at the time I didn't. It was a little girl. And she had got on the overground, and I could hear her on the phone to her friend. So what she was basically saying is, I can't believe it. Yeah, this guy was making me wait so long to come and link him. So I ended up going to his house. I remember thinking, really? So she and her friend carried on. I don't think it worked very well, this young lady going to this guy's house. But she came off the phone. When she came off the phone, that's not my daughter. But as far as I'm concerned, this old adage of we must all help raise us up, which is kind of what you're saying, back each other. And I looked at the young lady and I said, I'm not speaking out of turn, but you see, moving forward, don't you ever go running down no man. I said, at the end of the day, if he could not make you his priority to come and link you on time where you had arranged to meet, why in Jesus' name were you now going after he's basically stood you up? You're now going to go and check him in his house. I said, if you was my daughter, I'd be in your neck. And she's like, and so you should be. I won't do that again. I feel so stupid. I said, never make yourself look stupid to make somebody else a priority when they don't make you a priority. And when I got to my stop, I'm like, listen, love yourself. See you later. I went about my business. And for me, that's how we build a better generation. When we see our youngsters, our young people doing foolishness, we can't be on this tip of, I don't want to get involved. No, we need to get involved. They need to hear it from us that this isn't the way to carry on. This is not the way that you're supposed to conduct yourself. As far as I'm concerned, we can only do better when we start coming together and each one keep one, rather than each one try to knock the next one back. So I just thought that I'd share that on the basis we're talking about, collectively coming together when we see one of our brothers and sisters in trouble.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, it was you think to yourself, like, because I know that you have to defend yourself sometimes physically, but I think as I've gotten older, you try to avoid it, because your life can change in an instant. You hit someone in the wrong place, they'd stumble over, bust their head, and then you're getting done for manslaughter at the very least. So popping off all the time is not what I would sit here and advocate, physically popping off all the time. But I think that those folks saved that man's life. I think that you stepping in and speaking to this woman is to this girl is definitely, it is where we need to be. It's esteem, it's backing when we need to back, it's mentorship, it's financial, it's supporting. It's like Natalie put out a thing the other day saying, Black people, I'm talking directly to you, stop asking small businesses for a discount. You know, it's just changing our mindset in all areas so that we can rise up, have our economics, have our, do you know what I mean? And have a community like everybody else. We've got a great community, but it can be stronger. And there's not, with our spending power, there's no reason for us to be at the bottom of the economic pole. There's just no need for it.
100%. Because we wouldn't walk into Selfridges. We'd feel a way to walk into Selfridges and ask for a discount.
No, you're pulling that. You want to pull out every pound to buy your Louis.
100%. But our own business is trying to get somewhere. Yeah, we want to now look down on them because you're not giving us a 50% discount. And we're not even asking for like a $5 off. We want our whole 50% discount because I'm the same skin color as you. And it's like, no. What we should be doing is building you up so you turn into a big, massive conglomerate. And then I can come and ask you for 50% off, but not before you get there.
We get there, absolutely.
But again, this is what I've said throughout since I started What Next as well. You look at a Black business and you automatically, you're not going to ask Louis Vuitton or any of them shops in Selfridges or even Topshop or ASOS or
100%.
Anyone else
for
a discount because you see it as up. You see it as up there. Any Black business that comes, you ask them for a discount because you don't value it as much. Because automatically it's Black, so you just, you don't take it as serious.
Yeah.
And to me, I will say it again and I'll say it again, it runs deeper than you've got to stop doing that. For me, if you immediately see a Black business and diminish its seriousness, its authenticity, or the value of it, it's a direct reflection of how you see yourself. You are a Black person. So to look at Black and immediately equate to devaluation, it's just literally it just platforms exactly what you think of yourself as a Black person, how you value yourself, how you value us as a community, what you think we're worth, what you think you're worth.
Yeah.
So it has to run. That's why as well, what Next is about a lot as well is looking at the reasons, not just the things that we do that are stupid or the things that we do that hold us back. It's why, what does it mean? So if I do that,
absolutely,
what does it mean as a Black person if I go to another Black person and I do this? What does it mean as a Black person if I feel like I can't do this just because of that? What does it mean if I feel like I have to code switch? What does it mean if so it's all these different things that if I feel like until we address, kind of unpick all of those things and address those deeper issues of why we do that and what it means. So I know that if I'm asking someone for a discount just because it's a Black person, I've then been able to decipher that, okay, I've devalued that business because it's Black. Okay, so if you're devaluing that business because it's Black, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? What does that say about you, where your head's at, and how you feel about yourself as a Black person? And that's what we have to do. We've got to do a lot of stripping back, because it's not, we can say to each other, we need to stop doing that, but we're not going to until we get
into the mindset. It's digging into the mindset.
Mindset and why we're in that mindset.
But don't you think, and this is more plain devil's advocate, because I believe that that's probably lesser a reason why people do that. I think that what it is we see another person who looks like us and we automatically want that kind of fellowship, that kind of unity. So my Black brother, you're supposed to give me something for almost nothing because we're Black brothers type thing. Whereas you don't have the same energy and attitude towards other businesses. So
because
if you go Asian, Chinese, white, you're not like that with them, but you automatically see that kind of, but you've got to give me something for nothing type thing because you look just like me. And that's wrong. And what I find really, really strange is us, like we'll go to a Black business and we'll now start deciding that their prices are £2.50 more than Tesco's, it's £3 more than Sainsbury's, or what have you. However, we have no problem walking into a dance and buying a bottle of brandy for £110 that sells in the shop for 25. So where is the logic? Because that markup is at least 100, 200% on what it really costs. We have no problem in buying that. They're not even drinking it, having the cheek to pour it over our heads. But to go and pay £2.50 more than what Sainsbury's, oh, no, that's a curse. Why are our shops so expensive, etc., etc.? We need to change that mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Because we're lacking, it just shows a lack of vision. So if you're ready to go stop, not to pay for someone, to support a business, but you'll pay £110 for brandy that's going to last you 20 minutes and knock you off your feet, it just shows how much that you're lacking like long-term vision. It's just temporary gratification, but you're not actually looking ahead.
See, you ladies said it. You ladies hit the nail on the head. You are devaluing that straight away. So you can't see the value in that black business because it's £1 or £1.50 more than anywhere else. However, you will happily spend £100 more than the value of the brandy because it's a dance and you want to floss and you want to look like the big eye. Makes no sense to me. And the wickedest thing is, we would then take that £110 bottle of champagne and pour it over our heads. But if a beggar or if a homeless person stopped us on the way to the dance and asked us for 10 quid, we ain't got it.
Yeah.
We need to move away from that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. 100%.
A lot of work to do, but we're getting there by the looks of it.
Well, we just can't give up. I mean, it's not moving at the pace that I would like it to move at, because I thought we would be a lot further along in our journey at the age that I am now. We're not. But at the same time, I'm not one for chucking in the towel and saying, oh, we can't do it. We can do it. And I'm hoping that our children, the generation behind us, and I don't know about the millennials or what have you, but the generation behind us, I'm hoping that they can make more steps than what we were able to. We can't give up. We just cannot give up. Yeah. That's what they want us to do. Give up and then just settle. See, for me, that's settling, and that's the kind of settling I ain't prepared to settle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary's saying, did you lot see the fake one afterwards where a group of people made a mock one, laughing out loud? So funny. A guy actually dived into the water and swam across.
No, I didn't know.
You saw it?
So there were memes of this thing now.
Memes, yeah. I mean, since that thing happened yesterday, I saw it because everybody that knows me started sending it to me. They're like, what do you think about this? Because they knew I'd have a lot to say.
Yeah.
So when someone sent it to me, I thought, oh, here we go. So then obviously the first thing I'm watching is the man get beat up. And I'm like, why would you send me that? Why would you send me that? Then I peeked the guy at the top walking past like, no, running down. I was like, what's going to happen? I just see this head with a cap on, swimming. I'm like, wait a minute. I need to watch this and see it, because I would have switched it off. I do that. I don't want to see no black man.
No one getting beat up. Yeah.
So I watched the thing. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was proud. I said, listen, and people been sending me memes for days as well since. It's hilarious. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. He would be proud. Malcolm X would be so proud right now.
Yeah. So all I kept on hearing is, no, not in our small town. You're not coming down to our small town in Alabama and you're treating our people like that. And they showed them we're not having it. We've been through
entitled. They're just entitled and rude and just think anywhere you go, you can do that. No, because if they were still fighting right now, I would go and meet them.
When you say that, we both start swimming in the ocean.
Out of order. It's just the audacity. It's the audacity. I can't. I can't take
Who
it.
said they was
Right,
clapping for
take your
joy? Oh,
racist
Nikki.
ass away.
Nikki said
Yeah,
I was
man.
clapping for joy.
And if people have been arrested, I hope the people who started it have been charged, because it's very, very clear from the video to see who started what. And at the end of the day, by the end, they were just defending their own. So I hope that they see it and deal with it in the correct way, not one of these ones where certain set of people get let off and it was the people that won, because that's usually how it is. The ones that got beaten up the worst are now viewed as the victim, and the people who got back the punishment are the ones that are now seen as the perps. No, I hope you keep it the correct way round.
But did you see the video though? As the police, they were all black in it. They weren't really about it. They were just allowing that shit to run. They were like, "Oh, stop!" There was no force.
Where are they? Where are they? And behind him, the people were getting beaten up. But where are they? I can't see them.
When one white woman was trying to get involved, I just see the police officer just push her back and dash her. And I said, I'm waiting for these people to say police brutality. I'm waiting. Because he just dashed the white woman out of his way. But when the black people was beating up the people, they were just there like, oh, God damn.
And really and truly, that police officer should be commended for saving that lady's life, because there was one lady in a green dress who got a little bit too close, and they were dealing with her differently. She was on the ground. She wasn't even right back. She was just holding licks left, right, and center from 360 degrees. So that police officer pushed away.
Enough is enough. Imagine slavery done when? What, 400-500 years ago?
400 years.
And we are still in the streets having to defend our lives because they just feel like it. And the thing is, not everyone, people are just not going to like you. It just is what it is. But it's like, okay, you don't like me, then just don't like me from afar, innit? Why you got to come and stab me or take away my job or beat me up or whatever? It's just dislike me and stay over there. But it's
the nicest thing is I don't think that they can go with the narrative of black versus white, because if you noticed in the video when they first started arguing with the security guard, his colleague was white. And the white guy came over and he too tried to stop it, and he holds some tumps. The problem with that is that he went and he ran for the hills after he held his tumps. So you can't. So if they want to turn this narrative into white versus black, no, this was people protecting
white versus
security guard, and I think they would have done that whether that security guard had been black, white, or pink with polka dots. It was 5 people that jumped in.
Hold on, guys. I'll be back 1 second. Sorry. I'll be back 1 second.
You reckon? I reckon it was the black people jumped in because it was white people beating up a black guy.
Like I said, when you see the entire video, because the first person to come to the black man, the security guard's aid, was the white guy. He was the one who got
he ran off and left him to the hills.
Sorry? Yeah, and then they threw some tumps and he had gone by the time the black man who came running down the ramp had reached there. The black guy who came running down the ramp, it wasn't to beat them. He tried to stop and split them apart. So the first 2 attempts weren't to perpetuate what was going on. It was to break it up. Yeah. But those 2 got attacked. Now, when those 2 got attacked, everybody on the boat was watching this and must have been thinking to themselves, what do you think? This boat ain't about to dock. As soon as this boat docks, I'm going to hand it to you. And that's exactly what they did. As soon as the boat docked, everybody, all the men came off, took off their tops, and then they were looking, where are they? Where are they? They found them, and they went and gave them a piece of their mind.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Nat, do you want to check in with our folks who's watching?
Yep. We've got Juliet, John Baptiste.
Hey, gorgeous.
Little Miss Simpson, Gary, of course, Tony Charles, Patrick Charles, Eve, Charlene, hey Shah. Sometimes it doesn't always show me everyone.
Show you just says these people are watching with you. Tony Charles said they got some licks.
Yeah. They did. They got some much needed licks. They got some much needed licks. It's good. It's good. So, like I think Trish, I told you. Remember, I was heated one day. I called you. I come out the petrol station.
Oh, when the guy called you a wog.
No, when the boys tried to take set on that man, on the black
man.
Yeah,
you did tell me that, yeah.
And it's instinct. So there's a guy. He must have been about your age, Des. He looks a bit like you. He'd obviously just come back from work. He looked a little bit like you, but he had a hat on. He'd come back from work. I went into the petrol station to get something. I can't remember what it was. And he walked into the petrol station, cool. And he said something, and he said to the young Asian boy, don't try it. Don't try and be rude. Young Asian boy's chatting like, I was thinking, let me mind my business, because I immediately get hot. So I was thinking, let me mind my business. The Asian boy's running his mouth, then proper tries to be into the man's like, listen, leave me, because like I'm not you're a little boy to me. Don't try it. The boy tries to come like he's got something, like he's got tries to threaten up the man, like trying to act like a bad man. Now, these boys are racist to black people, but try their hardest to act like what they interpret as black, like a young black boy, like really trying to do the most. And it got really heated, and the Asian boy was just behaving disgracefully and disrespectfully, and come up to the black man, and I just stood in front of him, and I was like, no. No. And everyone was just standing there and just allowing it to happen. It just pissed me off. In the petrol station, I was like, no. And then he said something, so I said, we'll fucking deal with you, bro. Like, we just went in on him. The boy eventually just kind of left, because I'm a younger person as well. He thought, okay, someone little bit on his level. He doesn't know what's going to go on. The man's like, oh, I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you.
Just don't want no drama.
Yeah, he eventually turned around. I was like, yeah, so don't try it. I said, what? We were like, what? Just me and the black man in the shop. What? I came out of nowhere with my packet of squashies in my hand, ready to just give the boy. What? I remember standing in front of the man, like, no, because I could see when they got that mean, evil look, like you was going to do something.
Yeah.
And I just thought, no, because everyone's just standing there watching.
It's not just from white people, it's from everybody.
It's not just from white
people.
It's from
everybody, including our own blacks, which is a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But the other day, I said to my mum, I got into an argument with the police because they were all over a black man, had him hook up, had him handcuffed tight, because he's the local window cleaner, and he went to get his ladder. So Jewish people are moving in around here now. So he keeps his ladder in between two houses. So there's two end houses and there's a gate. So he leaves his ladder up against these black people's house because he obviously hasn't got anywhere else to put the ladder. He's been leaving his ladder there for years and cleaning the neighborhood's windows. Jewish people have started to move in now. They put a lock on the gate. So he started climbing over and then putting his ladder over and then climbing back over and then will do the same. Because he's been doing it for years. Them call the police and say, there's a black man with a ladder. So of course they come out in their droves. I can hear a whole heap of commotion, like all the neighbors, and I don't really deal with nobody around here because it's the crabs in a barrel mentality around here. It always has been. My mum's been there for 44 years, and it's just is that mindset we were talking about. So I don't really deal with people around here, and I tend to just mind my business. I don't get involved. But something just drew me outside. When I got outside, about 5 of them on this one black man, roughing him up. So the neighbors are going mad. They're going mad. And they're telling us, like, move. It's not your business. We don't have to, because they're asking, like, what is the problem? Why are you not doing that? We don't have to explain nothing to you. So I stood there for a little bit, just watching the interaction and watching the disrespect. And then I said to the officer, ain't you supposed to be trained to diffuse situations? So you
escalate 100%.
Yeah. right. So you talking to people like this when they're obviously concerned, it's not helping. It's not helping. Like, why are you talking to people like that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your business. Go away. Get out of here. It's not your business. It's not your business. And we said, so now I'm starting to get irritated because the way that he's talking to us is like we're dogs.
Yeah.
So I said, we're not going nowhere. Yeah. I said, look at all of you on one black man. There's no need for it. Yeah. When it will get us through our searches quicker. So everyone's everyone's on them because of the way that they were roughing up the man. There was no need for it. So he must have said one more time, it's not your business, go away. So I said, we're not moving, we're not leaving from here because you're not going to kneel on his neck today. So the female police officer turns around and she comes up to me and she was like, what's your problem? What's your problem? So I said to her, no, you can't talk to me. Yeah, can't talk to me. So she was like, I can talk to you. You can't have an opinion until you go and get yourself an education or you join the police force. So I said to her, she goes, you've turned this thing into a race matter, like you, because I kept saying like the one black man and all of you's on this one black man like that. Is that how frightened you are of black? So she was like, she said, you can't have an opinion unless you get an education or join the police force. And I said,
education?
So what does she know to be able to look at you on sight and decide you are uneducated?
She said, you've made this a race thing. It's not a race thing. And I said, well, that right there it is. Because what do you know about me? Other than what you see on me today, my skin and how I'm presenting today, what makes you think I'm not educated? What makes you think I'm not educated? 100%. Like I said, you've got no power to talk to me. You can't talk to me. So then another officer came and then she kind of diffused it. And she was like, oh, it's because of the call that we got. And I was like, so a black man can't have a ladder. All you heard was black man and a ladder and you lot come loaded for this one man. Look how tight you had his handcuffs on. Yeah. So she said to me, oh, but they said that when she approached him, he was rude. I said, well, if she approached him the way she just approached me with her stereotypes and all the rest of it, then what do you expect? So she said, oh, the police, we do make mistakes. I said, yeah, the stereotyping and the profiling is your continued mistake. That's
no. That's institutional. That's not a mistake. That's not a mistake. I mean, as a black man, we know about it. I don't even think they realize. As a black man, we know about it. Where we walk, we know that we have to look over both shoulders at the same time if we can. So as far as I'm concerned, we are stereotyped. If you had a rucksack, you'd be carrying drugs. If you had, the white woman the other day, you'd be a drug seller. If you had a nice car, we live it. It's every day.
The white woman the other day, I can't remember, the Bravado Massive did tell me who it was and they sent me the report where she was basically saying that it is institutionally racist within the police establishment and that we do, if we go into a shop, you have to keep your receipt because you're more than likely going to get stopped and asked. So many things that we have to factor into just by having this skin color. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I think it's the most wonderful flipping prized possession that I've got is my black skin, but the struggle is real and it's going to continue. do you know what I mean?
I watched that interview and what resonated in me was I sat down and I thought, oh my God, I'm also one of those, because I've had that conversation with my son. Hear what? Police stop you. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do so you don't get yourself arrested. Do you mean I'm having that conversation like kill them with kindness, but know your laws. You need to read up. You've got to know the stop and search laws. Make sure you ask for the little slip that they give. If you can't, have your phone camera out so that when you get stopped, because that was his complaint. But no, I got stopped 4 times in one day. And I'm like, right, but how many times did you take your phone out, son? Because at the end of the day, you see, when you see the 2nd, 3rd and 4th lot, you can just press play and show them the video and say, you've been here already today. You didn't find nothing on me. First time.
See the
You're
date
not going
here?
the first
Yeah.
time. I haven't been no, do you understand? But I had to have that conversation. And you do it and you don't even realize you're doing it. And it wasn't until I watched that interview that I was like, oh my God, I'm another parent who's done the same thing. And the weird thing is, I've had different conversations with my daughter, but not like that about the police. Because 6'2", size 16.
Women are not.
Yeah, he's got that. He's got that size and build that they're just going. Just because he's breathing, he's a problem.
Yeah.
So
we'll meet on your next. All right. So moving on, but more unity, more coming to defense, more fighting. Not even just a white and a black thing, like you said, just fighting against injustice, like things that are wrong, standing against it. Do you know what I mean? But all right. Next topic. So, a woman finds herself between a man she loves and a man who loves her. So, who does she choose? Only realistic answers, please. No bravado massive. There's a lot of you watching today. Get involved. What do you think? Are we choosing the guy that we love or the guy that loves us?
Yeah.
And I'm going to let everyone comment, and I'm going to let people say what they need to say before I say my piece.
Trish, go.
Okay.
This triggered me. Triggered me.
Yeah, you go. What did it? What do you
triggered me? What triggered me is it almost devalued a guy, because what I saw in the comments were lots of people saying, and funny enough, lots of people saying their dad had told them that go for the guy who loves you. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, right. So what about all the mothers of those sons? What would those mothers tell their sons? Oh, what? Date a woman who don't love you? Like, what? Why would that even be a thing? You don't get it.
So the mothers say again,
Right. So what was the question was, would you date the guy you love or the guy that loves you? Now, most of the comments were saying that their fathers told them as girls to date a man that loves them. So my argument was, right, but all those men have mothers. Do you think those mothers told their sons to love a woman who don't love you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's going to turn around and say, well, I'm going to be with you because you love me.
No, they're not going to say that. But what does the thing say? The woman doesn't love the man, but the man loves the woman. So therefore, I'm going to go with him. I'm going to put myself with him because he loves me. What? Since when was love one-way street? When was it not a two? When was it not something that was reciprocated? You give love, you get love. When did it become a one-way street? What made people think that somebody will love a female that doesn't love them back? Could a woman love a man that doesn't love her?
Well, they do all the time.
All the time.
They love them the hardest.
Yeah, but isn't that... Yeah, but if the man isn't loving you back, isn't that for you to curb your love, stop loving him?
Yeah, but you have to be in a certain place. You have to be in a certain place to get to that point where you're like, the fuck this. If you're not there and you're just going off, a lot of women will go off just their love. Fuck whether he loves them. They can't, it's attachment. That's where attachment comes in. They feel like they need them because they love them. They're not really looking. They know they don't, but I think so they spend their whole time fighting for their love because they love them. That's all they can see. And they just going to spend the whole time fighting for that, torturing themselves and everyone around them. But for me, from a man as well, if you don't love her, then don't be her.
No, but with the greatest respect, whose fault's that? That's like a man staying in a loveless marriage. The woman don't show him any love. She don't cook for him. She don't do nothing, but he sits in it. Whose fault?
No.
Would you blame the woman or would you blame the man for sitting in it? Whose fault?
Both of you.
No. I'm saying if the woman doesn't love, she's not showing him no love. She's not dealing with him on a level, but he's still sitting in it. Whose fault? Isn't it the man's fault for sitting in it?
It's 100% his fault for sitting in it. But if she knows she don't love him, why are you there? You're just taking advantage. So that says a lot about you as well.
No, I fully agree with that, because
so
for me,
I'd say, yes, you have to take ownership as your person. Get the fuck out.
100%,
like, wake up and
100%.
don't be clouded by that. But
there's nothing wrong with being on your own. There is nothing wrong with loving yourself first and being on your own if you're not being shown what you need to be shown. I don't understand why people will, so that I've got a warm body around me, I'm going to put up with some shit that I wouldn't put up with ordinary. Like, what? No, love yourself first, because when you love yourself, you enable someone to show you love, and then you can reciprocate. But if it's not a two-way street, I'm not on that journey. Try no.
Yeah.
I'm not on that journey, because as far as I'm concerned, well, I didn't hate singledom that much that I want to now be in love with someone who doesn't show me that back.
That's torture. Whereas I don't think singledom is torture. And I think that's what people don't realise, is that singledom is a time to get to know yourself, to nurture yourself, and to get to the point where, you know, you can be be a whole person on your own and with somebody else. But I don't know. I think for me, I'm always gonna pick.
I was just about to answer Nikki and say, I can only be logical. I can only, if it's a two-way street, I can reciprocate. If someone's showing me love, somebody's got care and attention for me, I will give that back to them times 10. But if I'm seeing that, well, when I'm on my face, you don't give two monkeys, how can I then reciprocate that love when you're on your face? Then I'm mugging myself off. And the longer I do that, the more it is on, the longer I do that, the more it is on me. Can't blame the woman.
She's saying that you're being logical about it, because I remembered I had the same conversation with one of my mum's friends, a male friend, and he said the same thing for you. If you go for a guy that loves you, he's going to look after you until the day that you die. He wasn't saying go into that relationship and not treat him like the king that he is. But you have, if you want, it's kind of like the old age question of stability or passion. So a lot of us attach our passions and think that actually some toxic passion is love, when actually it ain't. And then the guy that is cool, calm, don't give you no drama, it's not, it doesn't.
Not excited.
It's just misunderstanding love, isn't it? It's misunderstanding love. So, but he wasn't saying to me, go into the relationship and drain him out because he loves you. What he's saying is you will have a safer, stable life with the man that loves you, as opposed to just going after the man that you love, because it might not necessarily work out. You know, the man that loves you, you know that you're going to have a good set life, because when a man loves a woman, as the song goes, there's nothing he won't do for her. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that it's, you know, no one's not saying if you go into a marriage with someone who loves you that you're going to drain him and treat him badly. It's just passion over stability.
No.
Let's pose it as this question: passion over stability. Basically.
Now stick a pin, because what I would ask you is, mothers of sons, would you find that acceptable for your sons? Exactly what you've just said. Would you find it acceptable for your sons? And I guarantee you,
we're not going to know, because she's not going to go. We're not going to know because she's not going to go in there saying, "Well, my mum told me to date you because you love me."
No.
Like, it's not going to come out like that, is it?
No, but I don't mean it like that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all intelligent people. Now, we know when we're showing love, but we're not getting any back. You guys have just hit on it already. Yeah, well, we've done it already. We've loved and we've not got anything back. So do you think that man can't work it out? And she doesn't need to come and tell him anything. He's showing her unconditional love. He's just not getting it back in return. What makes you think he can't pick up on that? What makes you think his people can't pick up on that?
Okay, I get what you're saying. Like, he might not be able. They might pick up on it, but I don't know. There's many people in relationships.
Well, if Yala's ladies can pick up on the fact that you're showing love and not getting it back, what makes you think that the guy can't do the same thing?
But like what Gary is saying is, what is love? People show it in so many ways. So if I love you in a different way to how you want to be loved, doesn't mean I don't love you. And that's
See,
often the response that we get back. Should we pose that as a question? Would
for
you agree,
me,
Natalie?
I think we
Yeah.
should pose that as a question, because for me, I don't understand where we've got different variants of love. That's the bit that I don't get. Yeah, you love or you don't love. I don't understand how it's like, oh, but I show love in this way and I show. No, love is love. How have we got different versions of the same thing?
Do you know
Oh, I
what
love
it is?
you a little
It
bit. I
gets
love you
mixed up.
more. That means if you love somebody unconditionally, you love them, and if you don't, you don't. You like them. I don't think that there's that middle ground where I kind of love you. What's a kind of love?
Do you know what
You
it
don't
is?
kind of have a passion for anything. You either have a passion for it or you don't.
Do you know what it is? I think that is mixed. That's mixed up a bit. I get what Gary's saying, but I think he's mixed it up a bit. I think if you love someone, you love someone, but I do think there are different love languages that sometimes do not connect. So if my love language is completely different to yours, even though we don't love each other, whatever, it's not going to run, especially if no one's willing to compromise or thingy. So I think you might have my love language might be this. So it's not about whether you love me. Yes, you might love me, but the way you show it is not the way I may deem suitable, or I may think that makes me feel like I'm loved. That's not my love language. So you can feel what you want, but if it's not projecting, then no. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't feel like I think there's different types of love. Like you can love your mum different to your child, different to your partner, different to your
100%.
friends. But I think romantically, you either love someone or you don't.
100%.
But I do think there are different love languages, and that can be sometimes where the problem is. So there's different ways people express their love, or there's some people that think, I love you. That's still it. You should know that and think that that's good enough. So yeah. I think there's just different. I think it's different ways like that as well. You've got to know what each other's love languages are, and if that's going to be good enough.
See, I agree in terms of that you love people differently. The love for your mum is different to the love for your child, which is different to the love for your partner. I understand that, but there is a connecting line that runs all through those different relationships where the love is similar, i.e. you would go to the ends of the earth for that person. There isn't anything that you wouldn't do for that person. If you had £10, they could have 5. Now that would ring true for son, daughter, mum, girlfriend, wife. Why is it different? That's the bit. I think that we now are looking at the word love when we're taking it away from the actual definition of the word love. We're then adding caveats to it so that we've now got a whole spectrum of the word love. Whereas if you ask our parents, if you ask parents and the parents before our grandparents, they loved each other, period. Point blank, period. There was none of this, you need to love me like this, you need to love me like... No, you just needed to have care, compassion, affection, be prepared to provide, protect, stand up for it. That was defined as love, period. You know, you could have the argument with your partner, with your wife or whatever. She'd still cook your food and tell you, yes, Gregory, your food in our kitchen, it cover up and go. That's love to me. That's love.
But I do think there can be variations in the way that you show it and the way that you display that love and almost prove that love, because in that same sense where they did just have love, a lot of them did have kids out the door and stuff like that. Is that love? So am I saying just because you love me, a lot of men back then just did what they want.
Yeah.
And it just
don't pay bills, don't come home, gambling.
That's not a love language.
But that for me is not love. That's not love. You can talk,
they would then
I love you as much as you want, but that's not it.
Yeah. I love, but that's what I mean. That's why I think, so like Desmond, I think you're very vocal. I feel like I don't know what you've been like in a relationship, but you sound very vocal. You say what's on your mind. If you feel a certain way, I feel like you wouldn't be afraid to show it to your partner, etc.
100%.
But then there's other guys that I know that love would like their partner, love their partner, but are just complete shutdown. Do you get what I'm saying? They don't speak, they don't do all of that, but they love their partner the same way you love yours. And that's what I mean. So your partner might feel like, oh my gosh, he loves me so much. Their partners don't feel like that. But even though you love each other's, your partners the same. And that's what I mean. There's just different love languages, and you can love someone with all your heart, but the way you show that love is how they're gonna receive it.
But then wouldn't you then say that realistically, that's between the two people when they get
100%.
together? They sit, they have a conversation about what their needs are, how they need to feel love, how they need to see love. They then see if they are on the same page, if they are able to reciprocate. If they are able to reciprocate, then they can go ahead, both showing the other person the type of love that they need. Because one thing that you did say, Natalie, that does resonate within me is you're absolutely right when you say that people need to feel love differently from person to person. So somebody might feel loved if their partner comes home and cooks for them every evening. Some people might feel loved if their partner came home and they always had a new item for them every evening. So everyone's, as we call it today, love language is somewhat different. But I think through these love languages, there is a immovable spine of what I class love to be. And that's the same from mother to child to animal to house to whatever. It's the same thing. They all move along that line. And if it's not there, I couldn't see myself going to the ends of the earth for a woman who I knew didn't love me in that way. Who didn't show that to me.
Because
which
some people,
I'm not going to love her back.
Yeah, but a lot of people, they get into it. Like I said,
you would never know.
They're blinded as well by their love for that person. So what they don't realize is, yes, they can see the red flags and the underlying, but they spend their whole time chasing, and that's due to they're thinking about their feelings, and they're trying to get gratification and trying to satisfy that urge that they have for that person. So instead of letting it go, they've formed an unhealthy attachment to something that they know is going to hurt them, but they hold on to that hope that they can, get that person and get them to do what they want, because that's the person that they want. So,
Harry's coming in.
Yeah, trying to get them to oh, come on. And so they spend their life as a mission, especially if the person just stays around and coasts. They're not running off too far. They're just coasting. They're not doing nothing special in the relationship, but they're not running off. They can spend their whole time trying to chase that love and squeeze that love and kind of dissect that love out of that person. And that's a lot of relationships that people are in, and people think, why are you with them and you don't love them? That is the purple haze that they are in that moment. So they don't sometimes even realize that is what they're doing. You are chasing that out of someone. And I think sometimes the more someone pushes you away, the more it makes people chase. And it's the wildest thing, but we've all done it. I've done it. And that's just unfortunately how it goes sometimes. And that's where you got to take a time, sit back when you do come out of that, try and heal and try and not go back to that kind of thing again. But that's what I think it is when you're in a relationship with someone that you love, that don't love you, and they don't deep down. I think it's that constant chase of trying to get them. Yeah, because you're thinking about your feeling. You're trying to satisfy your urge and the feelings that you have. You're not actually thinking, they don't love me. They're never going to. So just leave it. You want to make it work with that person because that's who you want. But you're not actually thinking about it properly. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what a lot of people sit in.
I hear you. And obviously,
Can I just stick a pin for a minute?
Yeah.
Good evening, Gary. Gary's joined us.
Not Gary.
Word up, Gary. We got Gary. No, I'm glad that Gary's
not
Gary.
Join the group.
I used to really like Natalie. There's levels to her, but now she got off key. I think it's the hairstyle today, just flopping and pulling back. You know what I mean? It's wet. It's giving her COVID. All the wetness of her head.
No, what?
Don't lie, Gary. Oh, Gary cussed. That was a cuss.
What
No,
I
I don't love
was
that.
not Gary popping up out of nowhere. Because I was all in my
Gary said
speech,
your
then I
hair
just
is
see
wet.
Gary. I was like, oh, hey, Gary.
I thought that was coming for me. You know, she likes
No.
No one ain't coming for no one. It's all love
No.
island.
You came in ready and swinging, boy.
Ready.
Your
Natalie-
hair is wet, Natalie. Your hair is wet.
Listen, we're not in Alabama now. Yeah, we don't need none of that going on. We good.
Oh,
Gary tried to spar me.
All I wanted to say was
too funny.
what I was trying to say earlier is you can. I hear what you're saying. When people designate love, and in my opinion, you can love people in so many different ways and be in a relationship with a person. So you don't have to. It doesn't have to be. I don't know. Some people will class buying flowers or like for me. I never, ever, 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 and this goes to my children as well. I've never bought any of them a card. Birthday cards, Valentine. Don't do it. Waste of time. I'll buy you flowers and I'll give you gifts, whatever. I just don't give you cards. Cards are a waste of time. Don't give Christmas cards. I don't do it. Now, some people get annoyed. Oh, Gary, you should write a card. You write a nice message in a card and da da da. I'm done with that. I'm doing that. Most of that stuff ends up in dustbins. So what am I doing it for? Now, some people find
I
issues
keep
with
my cards though.
Some people do. Some people that's the way. They'll give them a card.
Special cards, you keep them. Some
Yeah,
you're
some
right.
But isn't that a
You're
perfect
right.
example
A lot of it
of
does
what
end
we're
up in the
talking
bin,
about?
but
No, but that's what I'm saying to you. So when
Isn't
you
that
say
a perfect example of what we're talking about? It doesn't mean that Gary loves his children or whoever any less than the person who buys cards, but
No.
it's
But that's what you were saying earlier. You were saying about love and about showing it. And at the end of the day, some people may want a card saying you are the best girlfriend or wife in the world. You're not getting that from me. Sorry.
Don't date Gary, guys.
but would people then say if your love language was you like to have the cards for sentimental value, would you then say that oh, because Gary didn't buy the card, he doesn't love that person?
That's what I thought you were saying to me, Desmond. Because you're
Sorry?
that's what I thought you were saying.
No. See, what I'm saying is that for me, there's a thread of what love is, and that thread never changes. Then there are little bits that some people want, some people don't want it, some people show it in this way, some people show it in a different way. But the actual thread remains the same. That is that you care for them, you worry about what happens to them. If you had a tenner, you'd give them 5, you'd give them a shirt off your. That never changes. Because you would love your mum like that, you would love your child like that, and you would love your partner like that. The fact you can love 3 separate people who you have different relationships with, but that thread still runs through the middle, that for me is love.
Yeah, but
what we do on the top, on the bottom of it is what we need.
Have you heard of people saying, I love them, but I'm not in love with them? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't. I find that funny to me.
I've done it though. I
find that funny to
there.
me. Because if you love them, if you love them, how are you not? How have you made that separation? I don't. If you're not in love with them, you don't love them.
No, I think what I've realized is because it happened to me. Yeah, I think it turns when it's not romantic. It suddenly becomes you haven't got that you're in love with them, but you haven't got that invested interest in the actual relationship and nurturing it and nurturing that bond. So you can still love a person for everything they are, for what they do, but that romantic love where you want to nurture a relationship and build is just not there.
So wouldn't you say I like them, but I don't love them?
No, but sometimes if you've been around someone like I've got friends. And you can
what's
say,
the difference? I like them, so I like everything about them, but I don't love them. But how you've devalued the word love is that's the bit that I don't get, because it's like, oh, I love them, but I'm not in love with them. Well,
no, because
you can have love for somebody, but not.
It's for me. I understand it, Natalie saying totally, because at the day, there's lots of people I like. There's a few people that I love. Yeah, and this is the thing I would say with lots of people, like if you asked some of my ex-partners to say the thing, one of my main thoughts are, you said that would you give someone a tenner? If anyone asked me for a tenner, I would give it to them. If I can help you, I'd help you. I'll go out of my way to help you. If you're there and some people say they're not so special, because you do the same thing for everybody.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The only difference is that you may be sleeping with your partner, but if a friend said to me, "Oh, Gav, my electricity's gone down. Can you come down and change my light bulb?" for example, if I can do it, I'll do it. So that's what I'm saying. There's lots of people that I like, but there's some people that I actually love. Like my best friend Tracy, I love her. I love her children. I love everything about her because she's my. You know what I mean? I've known her for years. We hang, we do things, we chill. I mean, she tells me all the issues about her and everything, blah blah blah. She'll talk to me about it. So we have a deep bond of understanding that we're that close, but it's not physical. So I love her, but I don't want to sleep with her, for example. You know what I mean?
But you do realise love isn't intimacy.
Well, I know that. I know it's a difference.
Yeah.
But yeah,
because that doesn't define love.
Yeah, but I mean, but we're putting this whole conversation in the case
romance.
of physical romance and physical relationships. So that's why I'm putting the thing together. So I'm not saying that, and that's the thing Natalie's saying. She loves her ex or her partner or whatever. Like, if any of my exes, my children's mum, anything happened to them, I'll be devastated. But you mean it's like, oh, this person had a strong connection at one stage, and you know what I mean? So I still love them. I don't.
But you don't have to be with them.
Yeah. But,
so is that where people have then decided that we'll term it as, oh, I love them, but I'm not in love with them. I'm not.
Well, I don't want to be like, oh,
you could be madly in love with somebody at one point, and then come to the end of the relationship, and you go your separate ways, and you still got love for them, but you're not in love with them anymore. And there's some people that don't go their separate ways; they just stay in the relationship. Does that make sense? So, like you said, let me finish. Like you said earlier, the elders might have had an argument in the house earlier, but the food was still on the table. In your opinion, that's love to you. But the wife might just be like, that's what the thing is done, but I'm cooking the food, but I can't stand his ass. She might not love him at that point, but to you, receiving the food, that's still love. So it's understanding how, even in difficult times, you're still gonna take up what your other partner, like understanding the differences of the love languages, really. So do you know what? No matter what Desmond wants his food on the table, that's going to make him feel loved. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the woman that's cooking your food at the moment where you've had the argument feels love in her heart at that precise moment in time. So I think, like I said, you could be madly in love at one point and then go your separate ways. And there's some people who just stay in the relationship because it's stable. They know that there's love there. They know that there's going to be, there could be kids. There's going to be, a foundation and stuff laid for their kids. It's stability. So I love them, but I'm not in love with them like I was before or with somebody else. Like you can kind of, if some people have that one great love. So has anybody had that one great love?
No, because I can only speak for myself, and I would say no. I've loved people, but the one great love, no, because then I'd like to think that I would be still there, or they'd still be with me. So yeah, but I don't see it as one great. I don't see it as that.
I don't think. I remember it was maybe last. My grandmother, God rest her soul, my grandfather, God rest her, they broke up when they were like 20 or something, 20 them ages there. And I can remember my grandmother came over from New York and was here, and my grandfather was talking to her, and I heard him say, "Yes, you was my first and only love." And this is like they've both been married to other women, and so that's something he's held for the whole of his life. For now, 70 years afterwards they broke up, he still had that feeling for her. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, that's his first and only. I think
I think it's different, and I think the whole thread of that, the reason I found that interesting, and I think the whole thread of that post was just like a lot of the like you said in the comments, a lot of the dads have said, go for the man that loves you. And the reason they're saying that is because they want their daughter to be in a safe environment with a man that loves her, is going to protect and provide for her. And I get what you're saying, Desmond, that at the same time, the man needs to receive that love as well if he's expected to give it out. Absolutely. What I'm saying is there might be sorry, someone saying something.
No, I just want to say that,
what I'm saying is there might be. Go on, Gary.
I'll just say, just to cut cutting.
It seems like it's delayed. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, there is a delay. There is a delay.
I think to a certain extent, you're correct.
Yeah.
But if you look at arranged marriages, you may see the same thing. People go into it, don't know each other. One person has really strong feelings, and the other person just grows and grows and grows, and then the person can't live with that person. Both the people are like, So sometimes it takes time to get used to people.
It happens,
it develops. It's not.
See, to be fair, that was put in the. I can't remember who said it. But that was put in the chat. And I remember saying, well, an arranged marriage is somewhat different because they're both going into that, where it's not like one person loves that person and the other person has to grow to love them. They both don't really know each other. They're both thrust into the same situation at the same time and are in the same place. That's not too bad because they're both growing and building on their feelings towards each other. What I was talking about is, well, in the same way you said, dads would tell their daughters to love a man who loves them. Would mothers tell their sons to love a woman who doesn't? That's the point I put forward, and I guarantee you, mothers wouldn't. Mothers ain't telling their son, go and love this woman who doesn't really love you back. Why would you? That's your son. And that's where the conflict for me came from.
I think this is the point.
Dads would tell their daughter, I would tell my daughter the same thing because that's my daughter. I want the best for her. But would I tell my son the same thing? Well, no, because I'd say to him, son, if she don't love you, get out of there.
She's not going to go and say to them that she don't love him, though, is she? She's not going to say, like, I don't know.
See, we keep on
I think we're being too.
She's not going to say, and I still stick by the same way a woman can tell a man doesn't love her is the same way a man can tell a woman doesn't love him.
You reckon? Okay.
Yeah. But that's making men out to be very insensitive and unable to pick up on these things. Of course we are.
No, I think there's like some people would say certain women will go with certain men for their money, and this man thinks that this woman loves him to bits. Like, it just depends on who it is and how deep they are as a character. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I've seen elder relationships where I wouldn't necessarily, me personally, it's like it seems dead to us, but they're in their own little. To me, it's like some people settle for the sake of stability and a good lifestyle, and it works for some, and it doesn't. Some people are in relationships and have been in relationships for years because it's safe. Doesn't necessarily mean there's mind-blowing passion there. Gary's dropped off the internet, or something's wrong today. Yeah, because it's delayed and I can't hear anything. Let me see if I can add Gary back.
Can you hear?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. No, I'm always gonna choose the person I love, but there's thingies to this because I'm going to choose the person I love only if I know they love me back. And I'm never going to choose the man that loves me if I don't love him. So in that case, if the man that I love doesn't love me, but there's a man that loves me that I don't love, I'm going to be on my own until I get over the man that I love and find someone who likes me as much as I like them. Because for me to be in a relationship, if I'm going to There's no point me settling. I'm okay single. Like I'm actually all right. So a relationship is to me, that's going to be something nice. That's going to be fun. That's going to be something to really add value to my life. And if that is going to be the case, I have to like them.
No,
I have to like them.
See, I always go back to what my mum told me as a young man growing up. And it would be, love those who love you. Do for those who do for you. Respect those who respect you. It was always a two-way street. At no point as a young man growing up did my mum ever say, well, you know, wait until she gets on the same page as you or whatever. It was always from, you reciprocate. And if you're reciprocating and you're getting love shown to you in this way, as a man, this is what I would expect you to do for your woman, for you to do for your wife. What I was never told is, yeah, we'll go into a situation and basically, you know, figure it out, see if she can love you while you're showing nothing but unconditional love to her. I was never told that.
But would you know that though? I mean, I do think this is a bit of thing because nobody.
That's what I keep saying. He's not going to know that.
Yeah, because I've dated people that haven't really like, not let me not use the word like. I like them, but I was a bit, and then I grew to kind of like them more. And I've said this a lot with guys. Lots of times I see guys chase girls to a certain point. They get to the point.
His sound has gone, is it?
Yeah.
After you finish chasing,
just you, Trish, I think.
Yeah, just you.
Yeah, I think it's
just
you. Yeah, you keep frozen, but we've all not.
Yeah.
You keep freezing. But then, so you'll chase a girl to a certain point.
Let me come out and come back in and see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. So you chase a girl to a certain point. Then when you get to her and she starts liking you, you've done all that run. He's like, oh, cha. So she's, this person really likes me. And you're kind of like, I've done all this now. And then it starts, you're going down and she's coming up. So you kind of cross at a point where it's like, then the honeymoon period where everything's so amazing. And everyone's, oh, he's so nice to me. He's treating me so nice. He's taking me to McDonald's 3 times this week. Whatever. I've only played that. I wasn't serious.
It was Burger King, right, Gary? It was Burger King.
Five Guys expensive.
Nando's, very least.
But don't say that's
Natalie's face killed me.
Natalie's face was a picture. I could read all the subtitles as Gary was saying McDonald's. It was like, wow. He's really pushed the boat out here, isn't it?
This guy. But no, I'm just saying, we go out and you do things. So I think when you're talking about relationships as a whole, people, and this is what I'm saying, nobody in a relationship starts off at the same place. Nobody. And if anyone says they do, they're lying. One person always likes one person more. Right. One person, you may think it's a thing. It's always going to be like that.
See, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, it's always going to be like that.
I'll agree with that.
Absolutely.
You're never going to be like, oh, good. We're both going exactly the same. One person makes the run in.
But that's what we've been saying.
Lots of times I may like Trisha or Natalie or Nikki or somebody. I'll run after them and I'll chat to them. And then eventually they're like, you know what? He's not that bad a guy. You know, he's not that bad a guy. I'll give him a chance.
True, but when you was running after them, would you say you loved them or you liked them?
And I find her attractive because there's a difference.
No, I agree because as far as I'm concerned, whilst I was running after, that's because I had like. Now, if we're together and that you're actually spending time, you're doing things with and for each other, that you start to build on the like and it turns into love. You actually start to have feelings for this person. And you're right, it's not done in unison. One person might have feelings for the other person, but it's with a view that you're getting there. You can still see that person shows affection and care back. So it's not a problem. I just had a problem with, love going one way and then the other person being on the receiving end. And I have a problem with that, whether it's the man or the woman. So whether the man loves the woman or the woman loves the man, it needs to be reciprocated.
It's not fixed there until you get to that point, though. So there's always going to be somebody who falls in love first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at some point, so at the end of the day, it's a bit like a job interview. You don't know if you're going to get it. You may get it. You may not get it. If you get through, you get through. You don't. You don't. And then things change from there, and it develops. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm waiting for someone to love me. I mean, like it's like I want like because when you're a child or you're younger, you think, oh, I'm not going to say I love you first. I wait for them to say it. Idiot thing. You mean? So that's the thing that happens. You don't know what's going to go on until you get into that situation.
I'm 100% waiting. 100%.
I know you are. I know you are.
No way.
Yeah, and you know what, Natalie? Nothing wrong in waiting, my dear, rather than getting one-way street love.
So hold on.
Nothing wrong in waiting. And I would advocate that for men and women. Here, what?
Wait. You first, man. You got to say it first.
Who's got to say it first?
I'm never saying it first. I'm never saying it first. I can't take the fall. I live in my own head too much to do that.
You got to say it first.
Yeah, but if you felt that, Natalie, would you keep that to yourself or would you let the other person know?
No, I'd have to really know for sure that they love me. I'd have to really know for sure that they're feeling me on at least nearly the same level. But I'd need some signs. I'd need to know. And even then, I don't think I could say it first. I don't know.
I'm not saying it first. I'm not saying if we know that day we get married. I'm not when we get married. I'm not saying we love you because you said it to me.
But then maybe I'm just an old romantic because I personally feel that if you loved that person, it would come out of your mouth. Why would you try and keep it back? Why would you suppress the love? Because
you know what it is?
Them to say it first. Then do you really love them?
I hate awkward shit. Yeah. So my worst nightmare is telling someone I love them and them saying to me,
thanks.
No.
You know.
You do that to people, though.
I do. But I do.
Oh no! Let's not start with the buts. Come on, Natalie, talk up the thing then. So it's okay for.
Always gets me for this shit.
Thank you, Trisha. Thank you, because I wouldn't have known that.
I do say because I find like so maybe
I don't know how she does it romantically, but she like her kids complain about it as well.
Yeah.
So that means so somebody will say that, and you're just like, is it really?
No,
but
I'm not.
If it was said to you, you'd feel some type of way.
No, not even like that. I'm like, thank you.
So if you got that, thank you back, you would say what? They've been as polite as you have.
Ditto.
I don't know. I just think, it doesn't mean I don't love them. I do. But sometimes, I don't know. It just doesn't come out. But I do. Right, I do still love them. I have got emotional constipation as well. I can't lie. Okay. So I hold that. I'll say that straight. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, because I was about to say, it actually sounds like you're almost scared to love or be loved.
No, just to say the words is different.
Yeah, I think, do you know what it is with love as well? It's like what Gary said earlier, like, it's a risk.
Everything's a risk.
And sometimes that's a big gamble.
No, opening a business that you and Trisha have succeeded at is as big a risk as what you're talking about. Buying a house, a bigger risk.
You know what it is? I think sometimes you've just got to be. You see when you're single, you see that single piece that you get. It's unmatched. Mm-hmm. You do know that.
I do. No.
Where you're not worrying about no
for a long time.
You're not worrying about what anyone's doing to you. You're not worrying about the call that you're not getting back. You're not worrying about all these little idiot things that you sometimes worry about. You see that sense of inner peace and that peace unmatched, right? So if I'm going to risk that peace, it's just like, for me, peace is very important. So sometimes I just see relationships. Sometimes I think, I could probably do with being in a relationship. I'm not. I'm a human being. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm good. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm all right. Or I might see certain things that other people are going through, and I'm like, I am okay. Just to deal with any kind of stress, and I know, and the risk of, I don't know, like Gary said, you liking the person and them not liking you the same, or loving the person and doing all this and just don't know if I think you have to be ready to put yourself out there. I think my thing is that I would sometimes I like the perks of what a relationship can offer, but am I ready to put myself out there and be vulnerable and willing to take those risks and risk that inner peace? Do I have what it takes so no matter what happens, you can't shake my inner peace? Do you know what I mean? It's all them things. So maybe I think those are the things that I'm working on now, so that if I do get into a relationship, it doesn't matter. And I am ready to put it on the line. But right now, I feel like, I don't know if I'm ready to risk that peace and have that feeling. I like sleeping well at night, not worrying about someone's son and what he's doing or who. Like, I like to rest well. So I don't know if I'm ready to kind of possibly put that on the line. I flitter in between. I am ready and I'm not ready. I am ready, I'm not. So I'm probably not 100% ready.
I was very similar to you. I'd had years and years of singledom. I loved it. Come and go as you please. Nobody asking you questions. Watch what you want. Do all of that comes with that whole single life. And I've had to realize that I wasn't looking for anything, to be totally honest. I absolutely wasn't looking to be in anything. And it happened. And yeah, you are taking, I mean, I don't see it as being a risk, but you are taking a risk whenever you give a piece of you to another person. Whenever you give some of your heart, some of your feelings to another, you're taking a risk. But does that mean that I'm not going to take any risks and just go through life being safe? And that's why I pointed out that both yourself and Trisha, you know how to take risks, and you know how to take risks and make them succeed and make them work. You've done that within business. Some people are scared to go into business for themselves and like the idea of getting a monthly salary guaranteed every month. Do you understand? Now you have taken the leap of faith to get into your own business. And I don't see why it can't. I'm not, saying do it tomorrow, but I don't see why it can't in terms of love as well. You have to take a chance.
Yeah. I hear you. First of all,
you get a regular deposit, Natalie.
Well, first of all, I'm not that risky because I'm back doing a 9 to 5 on top of my businesses. So, no, I think it's true. I think the ideal is, and I think you just have to be at a point where you are, me and Trisha have this conversation a lot, where you know that it don't matter what someone does or how it goes, you're going to be all right after. And I think if you get to that point, then you're more willing to take the risk and put yourself out there and do it, because you've done the work to the point where you know what, if something bad happens, it's not going to be nice. And it's not, and don't get me wrong, I have dated and since, and I've had a situation where it weren't great, but how I was previously to how I dealt with it this time around, completely different. So there's still work to do, I think, for me, but I'm a million times stronger than I ever was back in. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day or before.
That comes with maturity, though, doesn't it?
Maturity and a certain part of. I know people say this all the time, but healing. There's a certain healing that you need to do, and a certain understanding of yourself and why you allow certain things, or why you do certain things, or why certain things make you feel the way you do to get there. And me and Trish have had many conversations about this. About that, I think. But then you do, like I said, you do get to the times where you feel like, I'm all right. I don't want no one's dusty son just trampling with my peace. I'm good.
But you know what? I always say to people, if you date people that are not similar to you, I think I remember saying this to one of my mates that if I say something to you like, "Oh, we're dating," and these are not the rules, but this is what I'm expecting. Oh, you can do what you can go out and do things, have fun with your friends. I'm not that type of person to get jealous, and you understand that about me, and I understand things about you. Then there's no issues, and then people don't have problems. It's when when people start being a bit not unclear, a bit not changing rules, but I don't like it's rules, but change like your everything's going well, and then people will see like, oh, I don't like your friend.
Switching goalposts.
Yeah. Like, hold on, where's this come from?
Because they're more comfortable now, so they feel like they can flex a little bit because they've got a foot under the table.
Don't flex. Let's be the same. Everyone's good. Yeah.
Listen,
put your thing out. That's the thing. Keep yourself. Be cool.
There's a brilliant book funny enough, by somebody called Gary John Bishop. How to unfuck yourself. Get out of your head. Get into your life. And yeah, for a lot of people, they are playing so much in their heads that you don't take any steps forward. You just stand still. And you're absolutely right in what you said. You do have to go through that learning yourself, knowing yourself, healing yourself, period, of which to then be able to put yourself up where if you do get knocked back down, you will get up, as opposed to if you get knocked back down, you're going to stay there. And when you're in that good place, then you're prepared to take a chance where you weren't before.
Said that about that. I'm reading this book at the moment. I don't read books often, and I shouldn't say that on no Bravado, but I'm reading this book at the moment. It's been read
surrounded by idiots.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Gary?
Well, if I come back,
yeah, for real, because we feel like this is being aimed at us, Gary.
Right?
Just tempering us up in here.
But it's quite a good book actually. It's about people. No one's an idiot, even though you're at work and you think everyone around these people are half idiots and I can't date them. But actually, it talks about people's characters and the types, and everyone's a different type. And it's about understanding the different types and how they can work for you and work with you. And it's quite a good book. And I was saying the same thing you said earlier. If you understand what's going on around you, you can allocate space for people to do things. And the same thing with relationships. You can allocate space in your life for people if you understand that person and how they are. If you don't understand that person, then you can't make sense of them, and you can't allocate them the space that they need to and they need to kind of support and develop you. And and if you've got someone like I said, you have your views and you work with your views, and if you can't have somebody, male or female, who can support and lift your views up and kind of challenge your views, not in a negative way, but in a kind of constructive way to make you think about other options, then they're not developing you. I've got a friend, had a big argument with her. Tell you, it kind of nearly put me off being her friend. It's really weird. We had a conversation about black people and what's a black person, and she was saying basically, if you're not black, if you haven't got two black parents, you're not black.
What?
We had this. Don't worry. I had this. It was like it. They was getting frustrated by the conversation.
Exit stage left. What?
Yeah, so he's like, you can't call yourself black if you ain't got two black parents. And it was that whole kind of, and we were debating about it, and it was like, you don't make any sense. But I had to kind of, after reading the book, was like, oh, okay, I understand her. I don't agree with her perspective on things, but I understand why she's coming up with that, and what about it makes her feel that way.
Just ask the police, because I'm sure if that mixed race person was running down the street, they'll be called an IC3 going
IC3, yep. But no, it's not. Yeah.
So make it make sense.
Yeah. So her thing is, if you're not totally black, you are. What's it she say? you're denying that part of yourself. And if you're denying the part of yourself, you're not. Don't worry. I'm not going to try to make sense of people that don't make sense.
Bring on no bravado, Gary. Bring on no bravado.
Ain't worth it. Ain't worth the drama.
It won't leave Pole boy.
Bring on no bravado. We'll sort this out.
Yeah,
Yo.
Yeah. And then
I
she was
think I'm
saying that.
back now.
Yeah, you're back
Sorry,
now. You're
man.
working.
I think I'm back now. I
Yeah,
was just like, you know, when you want to hear the conversation, I'm missing all the juicy bits, and everyone's freezing, and I'm like, nah, it's actually me.
Yeah, it's you. No one else.
It's not usually me. It's usually Natalie. But
Yes,
I don't know why I won't leave Sky. I've been complaining about Sky's internet from we started No Bravado, and I'm still there. So I feel my fault. And that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just settle because you're comfortable in it. Do you know what I mean?
There is that.
Sometimes you just do. All right. So let's go on to what our people them said, and then go on to the next topic. Because what did they say? Oh, because I came out of this. All right. So can you not read it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gary, do you want to go first?
Chris Knight says, if she loves next man, she should be with him. Laugh out loud. It's not every day a waste your time.com. Hello.
They're funny here.
Wow. There you go.
Mark Shaw said, imagine loving a woman and finding out the only reason she's with you is because the other dude didn't love her. There can only be one word for this.
Yeah, Mike Shaw. Behavior. Mike Shaw says she needs to choose not to be a Jezebel and leave people's sons alone, for fuck's sake. And Nigel K. Paul says, always go for the one who loves you. You will grow to love him.
Some people really think that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Natalie. I'm just like shaking my head like, yeah, I'm really going to do that.
I can't be in something where I don't feel something strong. I can't.
From the other person. Me neither.
It's not fun for me. It gives me the ick. I'll be like, every minute, I'll be like, oh, that's me. That's what I'm like. I can't even entertain that kind of conversation with someone that I don't like. I understand if you see someone and they pursue you, and then you eventually start liking them as they're pursuing you.
Yes.
But I wouldn't be able to get into a relationship with someone until I liked them back. Do you know what I mean?
Natalie, I'm with you.
I've been pursued and at first thought, get the fuck out of here. And then eventually thought, okay.
Really? That's
so many girls have told me that, persistence is attractive.
But then was quickly reminded I thought, oh.
At what point does persistence become begging? Because that's where I'm at.
Stalkerish.
It becomes stalkerish. It becomes, I told this brother no how many times and he's still ringing down my phone. I don't want to be that guy. I absolutely have no want to be that guy.
Don't be that guy. It's horrible. I hate it.
It's horrid. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I like the person who wants to hear from me, not to think, oh my God, again? Do you want to be the again girl?
It just depends. There's some guys that have got.
When you're phoning the man and he's thinking, it's Trisha again. What does she want? I've told her already that I don't want to. Yeah. Do you want to be that woman?
But you know what my problem is? I always think, I will sit there and think, when I like someone, I automatically just go into that mode where I think anytime I message and call them, that's what they must be thinking.
Yeah. So you don't message or call at all. Right. Just don't want to be a pest on nobody's phone.
I just don't want to be a pest. I get like imposter syndrome. And when I like someone, it's really stupid. I get imposter syndrome and I run away. So I go completely like almost like the other direction.
Then they have to chase you. They have to
that feels like you're sabotaging yourself.
Probably, but I just get a bit cringe. I feel like, oh God. I then feel like everything I'm doing is cringe, even if I'm not doing anything. Do you know what I mean? You get that kind of vibe.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, hold on.
It's
See,
it's weird.
So what you're saying to everyone in No Bravado, you want the guys to chase you, to pursue you, because you may actually like them.
And keep it going. So when she's telling you, like, stop calling me phone, just ignore them and carry on doing it, because eventually she'll come around.
DM her every day.
She's so not that girl. She's so not that girl. I'm laughing at you lot because I'm just like, when you see her behind the scenes as well, she's just so not that girl. There's guys that like Natalie, obviously. Look at her. There's guys that like Natalie and that will pursue you, and she's not waiting for them to run her down. No way, no how. It gets on her tits.
I can imagine. So yeah, this whole persistence.
No Bravado guys. No Bravado guys and girls out there. That lives at 22 Canning. What's it mean? Canning Town Road.
I'm giving that people's address out of order.
Oh my God!
Patrick Charles is saying, I think it's the man's job to chase.
Listen, I think it's the man's job to chase within reason, to express that he likes you, and then see if it's reciprocated. There are levels to this chasing, and didn't nobody say I was a marathon runner and I'm about to chase for 26 miles. I'm not doing it. I'm going to run a mile or two, and if you don't slow down and start running with me, I'm going to leave you to run.
If you get 100 meters out of me, you're lucky. 10 seconds, Jimmy.
How does relationships work?
10 seconds later, running the marathon. I've got time for the 100 mile.
How do they work then? Because as a man, obviously, a lot of times women would be expecting you to chase or do some kind of pursuing. Listen,
you said if I go out, do you know, actually, my relationships are usually quite.
Gary comes on here with all bravado, you know.
What do you mean? If I
go, no bravado, Gary.
No, I said if I go into relationships, then most relationships I end up, we're in a type of thing where it just happens. It's not a case that I'm like, I like you. It's like I chat to you from somewhere. You may come and talk to. I'd hardly talk to people because I don't remember nobody's name. When I'm embarrassing, I went 51st date. No, seriously, I went 51st date on Saturday. A girl in 51st date come up to me, said, "Gary, how are you?" Blah blah, hug me up. I'm like, cool. On Monday, I'm talking. I said, "Oh, blah blah blah," and she still goes to me, "Oh yeah, I got an email from 51st date saying, oh, did you enjoy the event?" I said, "Oh, did you go?" She goes, "What are you chatting about? I come up and hugged you." I was on the phone, man.
That's disgraceful.
I was the person to hug
you. I can't say nothing.
Terrible.
So this whole saying,
life is way too short.
All over the place.
If you like someone, let them know. Stop doing the long thing.
Stop the long thing. We're grown folks.
That's my thing weekly.
No, but to be fair, if you're not in that place, mentally, then realistically, it's not a long thing. It's just a case of, you're not ready to take that chance. You're not ready to take that leap of faith. And realistically, you need to be ready to take that leap of faith. And the good thing is that I'm sure Natalie isn't leading anybody on when she's not ready to take that leap of faith.
Well, that's the problem.
Talk about Desmond. She's R. Kelly the Piper. She got man lined up.
I really don't. Just in it, I don't.
Well, you do, but there's not men that you like.
No, I definitely don't lead anyone on. My problem is as well, people think that
you don't lead anyone on. That's not. If you're asking me that now, you don't do that.
Yeah, anyone, because even people think that I've got a very unbothered, nonchalant, thingy act like. But I'm really not. I'm not like that. I'm not. I'm just not expressive like that.
Okay.
In that area.
I think one of my relationships, one of the last ones I had, I didn't like him at first. I liked him. I didn't like him at first. I liked him as a person, but I wasn't like attracted to him like that. And no, oh,
You're looking at
oh, there she is. Yeah, I didn't. And then he was persistent, but not in a way where he was a bugaboo either. So he would check in, we would talk, and we developed a friendship. And then as we developed the friendship, I started to like him. But he liked me before I liked him. And it took some developing before I was
ready.
on board. But it grew, I guess is my point. So leading me back to the man that loves you, or you love the man. In that case, the way that we were vibing and the way that he was treating me and the way that I could then treat him, because we had a good friendship, I was in a position where you go for the guy that predominantly liked you, not the guy that you like, because it was the guy that you like, it was turbulent all over the place. But I had genuinely grown to like this person,
special,
but it didn't start out that way.
But he made you feel special, though. This is what I'm saying. If you start hanging out with somebody and you're with them and you start spending, like you may call it pursuing you, whatever. If you're spending time with the person and they start treating you in a way, there's certain things that you feel and think, oh, you know what? You start seeing qualities in this person. You may see, for example, you may go on a date. You may go on a date with somebody and be in a restaurant with them. And for some reason, a little child may come over and hold his or her hand and pull in their trousers, and he may spend a little time talking to them like a stranger. And you think, oh, hey, that is so good with children. You know, those little things. Or someone, he's walking with somebody and someone drops a bag and he picks it up for them. And it's just little things like that you see. You think, oh, you know what? This person's a nice person.
Right. Absolutely. So,
But these are all things that would make me like someone that I want to be with them. Would I go into it and I love them? No. I would spend time around, I spend time around them. I would like what they're about. I would like how they carry on. I would like what I see them doing, both in their professional life, in their personal life. And then you allow love to grow. But I don't think I could be that person on a one-sided, I like you, this person showing me that they really not really on me, and I'm still going to pursue because I want them to like me. No, it's not that deep.
Yeah, no, I hear that, but I'm just saying for different people it can work out. Yeah, it can work out. And me personally, I was saying like what little Miss Simpson is saying in the comments, what you've been saying. I can't be with someone that I don't like, and you can't just, it's not that. But sometimes you end up being with someone that you didn't think you was going to be with because it just naturally occurs. So you end up going for the guy that likes you because it's just naturally developed that way, not because. Oh, I'm good. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but if I did like him, but it grew over time. So I go in for the guy that likes you. I kind of get it because it can happen. Not where you're just I'm going because he loves me and I just want to suck all of the love out of him. Over a period of time, it can develop into.
I suppose the irony is that I'm currently in a relationship with somebody who I wasn't trying to be in a relationship with, who wasn't looking for a relationship. So it really proves that it can, do you know what I mean? That absolutely can grow. And sometimes, you know what, when you take away all of the things, the kind of things that drag you down, the kind of things that give you concerns, the kind of things that make you worry, when you take them all away, maybe you're able to see that person for who that person actually is, and they can see you for who you are, because there aren't the airs and graces. At the end of the day, if you ain't trying to be with that person, then you're more likely to accept a compliment from them. Whereas if you think that they're just trying to get in your drawers, you're less likely to take that compliment, etc., etc. So maybe there's something to be said for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, just over the message, it says, I'm honestly so afraid of women and relationships. I hear
Yeah.
you, brother.
You said
I can't
that.
see the name.
Patrick Charles.
Patrick
No,
Charles.
but you laugh. But for me as a man, unless he's saying it in jest, for me to see somebody say that is kind of sad. Unless he's saying
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at his response. I'm laughing at Gary's response. I hear you, brother. So dry and flat. That's what I was laughing.
I'm so afraid of women in relationships.
Wow. So, the rest of the comments, or should we just move on to the next topic?
Yeah, move.
Yeah.
Push him.
Because I see my comments there. So yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Because everyone had something to say about this.
Yeah, there was a lot of comments on this one. If you choose a person that loves you, you can end up with you cheating on that person. That's likely to happen if you pick the person that you love. In my opinion, go for the person you love, just so long as they love you back the same way.
Simple.
All right. Is this our last topic? I think this might be our last topic.
Yeah.
Is it okay for a girl to invite a guy that she has slept with to her wedding? Natalie, you're a mix-up boy.
Natalie
done the slideshow today.
No. Because
it's not okay.
None of your bangs to my wedding. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll give you a joke. There's a DJ. I'm not going to mention his name or talk his business, but he got married a few years ago, and his child mum turned up in a white dress, white gloves, a tiara.
No.
Gary.
No. I'm crying. That'd have made me cry as well, but no lie.
That's trifling.
Hold on. When I say white gloves, not talking about little white gloves, I'm talking the ones that come up.
Yeah. I've already pictured it in my head how she looked.
Tiara and everything, you know. All that was missing was a veil. What happened to the veil? She lied the veil.
Got a tiara.
Just a tiara instead, mate. Shade assassin. What happened? Did she stay? Was she allowed to stay?
Was she let in?
So the wedding happened. But you know when they're walking back down the aisle, the person went up to her and was like, you couldn't hear what he was saying. Oh shit!
I told you that's why you don't date a DJ.
Huh? That's scandalous.
That's why you don't date a DJ.
I was crying. The woman turned up in tiara, white gloves up top.
Honestly, I wouldn't have personally. I wouldn't have a problem with it. You know, there's probably an ex of mine that might be in the wedding that you get on with like that, whereby, you know, they come to wish you well. Is it really that deep? Y'all are about to start your married life. I mean, if something like that can derail you, should you really be getting married?
I hear you, but I just think sometimes you're getting married, it's a clean start. I just wouldn't want those past energies in my wedding. You don't need to be there.
No. But then that's like saying if you have, let's say, for example, you know, you're in your late 30s, early 40s, you're getting married, you have a child with somebody, that baby is, let's say, 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So the mother for the child can't come because you've obviously slept with her. She can't come to the wedding.
Desmond, my daughter's 20 and her dad can't come to my wedding.
Really?
No.
Is that, well, anyway, I'm not going to ask any questions, but it's just like, because, there's bare questions going through my head. I mean, me personally, I've moved on. Everyone's gone on with their life. I don't want to be with you no more. You don't want to be with me.
So leave it.
I've met somebody else. Yeah, if we still maintain, and to be fair, I think it's the relationship.
Still be cool, but you don't need to come to my wedding. We
maintain friendship and we're cordial with each other, and I would invite them to my 40th or my 50th birthday, then I wouldn't really feel any type of way in saying, well, come to my wedding. Yeah.
I feel like you can be cordial. I'm not saying, and I mean, it's literally different folks for different strokes for different folks. So whatever anyone else decides to do, that's up to them. But for me, I just want to keep everything as separate as possible. I just think you can have your relationship, have your friendship, be cool, but you don't need to come to the wedding. There's loads of people that I'm cool with and that I've got good relationships with that probably wouldn't make it to the wedding because of catering and stuff like that and different things. So if I've got to choose the guest list, they're not making it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, fair enough.
When you have a wedding, you really got to fine tune that guest list. And I just don't think the exes need to be on it.
No, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? I just think, I don't know.
See, I suppose for me, it's just a case of, look, that was my past. Everybody has a past. You're over your past. You're now creating and moving towards your future. I'm not ashamed of my past. I'm not ashamed of anything that happened in my past. So, you know, if
do they need to be eating the chicken at the wedding?
Sorry. So was that Trish?
I said, does your past need to be eating up the wedding budget?
No, well, that's why I said if there is a wedding budget and you're struggling to get your guest list together, then now that you're going to want the most important people there, and X probably isn't going to fit into that. However, if you've got space and it's not a problem, and you can invite people that you work with, then is it really? For me, is it really that deep?
What are you lot saying in the chat? You're getting married, and you've got your guest lists, and we know that weddings can be a little bit expensive and tricky, and your partner wants to invite one of their exes. Would you have an issue with it or not? Chime in on the chat, let us know. Gary, what are you saying?
Gary wouldn't mind. Gary don't mind nothing.
No, Gary don't care.
Listen, ventriloquist guarding around here. Gary spoke and I didn't see his mouth move.
When I tell people Natalie bullies me, right? Because someone said to me, a couple weeks ago, I saw your no bravado. Natalie sounds so nice. I said, that girl's a bully, yeah. She rock you up all the time, but she can't take me. She's like, I think I'm weird. I've got issues. Yeah? For my issues. I just don't understand that. Yeah, one day we'd end up together. No, seriously.
Just remember that lady that you was describing earlier, that you said that, you loved her and her children. Would you invite her to your wedding?
I was at her wedding. I went to Cuba and went when she got married.
There you go.
But I didn't. Well, yeah, I went to Cuba with her.
Was she your ex, though?
No.
Oh, no, listen, Gary. This is called no bravado. The way that your mouth kind of smiled as she asked that question, something happened. Something happened.
She's not my ex. So
I understand. Right. Let me rephrase that question.
Hold on.
Did anything happen between you and her? I'm not calling her an ex.
No, she's not. I won't pass that. I've known the girl since.
You're stuttering.
Yeah.
I've known the girl since I was.
Yeah, you smashed Gary, and the part of the question was,
we never done nothing illegal at all.
I didn't say everything illegal.
Oh
Listen, the fact that you're going around the question says
I
ain't done nothing. We ain't done nothing like that. Nothing like that. We just close. We're not done nothing like that. But what I'm saying is, I would invite. I'm trying to think. The funny thing about all the girls I've dated, we still talk. So it's a bit weird if we still chat. So I'm not saying I wouldn't invite them. I mean, would I invite? I wouldn't. I wouldn't invite anyone I thought was going to take liberties.
That bit.
Right.
Yeah, so I wouldn't invite. If I thought someone was going to take liberties or make a show or come in a white dress and a tiara, you wouldn't be getting invited. You know what I mean?
That's fucking classic, hilarious.
White dress,
Oh,
the only thing she did come, it didn't have ruffles. That's the only thing it didn't have. But it was a white dress, and white gloves and tiara.
You wanted to be the bride, big time.
I've just got myself. I just couldn't do that for my own self-respect, sanity, whatever.
To go get chuck out of people them's wedding. Did she get chuck out?
No, I just got spoken too hard.
No, she should have been because she should have been sent home to go and change. Yeah, go and change.
No, my family would fireman lift her out of there.
Fireman lift.
Fireman lifted her, throw her over your shoulder and run with her.
Wait, before she even got to me, the family would have dealt with that already. Like,
yeah, my family, 100%. My family know what time it is. That before I could even lay an eye on her, they would have moved her. They would have got her out of there.
But I take one thing. I don't think when someone's sitting there cutting a thing, but everyone was talking like Michael. Eyes open. It was funny. It was funny.
Those are reasons. No, that's an advert. That's an advertisement right by itself for not inviting someone to sleep with to your wedding.
Not inviting your ex.
I tell you, I did a wedding. I DJ'd at a wedding 2 weeks ago. 2 or 3 weeks ago, was like after, and someone said, "Oh, the bride wants to hear soca." So I was playing some soca, and this girl was in a white dress sitting in the corner. So I thought, why is she after soca and she's not dancing? So at the end of the night's gone past. And then this girl came over to me and said, "Oh, thank you for playing. You played really well, blah, blah, blah." So I said, "Oh, who are you?" She's like, "I'm the bride."
No.
I got there like our second DJ to play. So I said, "Oh, I thought the bride was the girl in the white dress."
Oh, shit.
In the corner. She goes, "Oh, I
wasn't enjoying herself. Why?
I got changed." But I don't know why anyone wear white dresses to weddings. I don't get it. I find it bizarre. So I think
it's disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So a girl I know said to me, "Gary, if I was that girl you asked if I was with her, I'd be devastated. Like devastated. I don't think I would. I think I would be crying for days afterwards, like thinking that someone else is the bride at my wedding."
Sad.
See, that's the thing with wearing white dresses at other people's wedding.
Unless it's the theme, like the bride says, everyone wear white or everyone wear black or whatever the case may be. I think it's disrespectful.
Yeah,
100%, 100%. All white and all black, not to weddings.
Unless it's the theme.
I don't think black things are the theme for wedding anyway. But no, I would. No, I probably wouldn't invite 90% of the people that I have dated. Maybe my oldest daughter's mum or something like that. But other than that, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Right.
Because actually maybe the youngest daughter. I don't know, but I don't think it would happen. To be honest with you, my oldest daughter mum wouldn't come. She'd be like, "Why are you inviting me?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think most of the girls would be like, "Why are you inviting me?"
Right. And I went to a wedding where black was the theme, and it was really nice, actually. Just to say, it was nice.
I think
really nice.
But you could wear black to my wedding, but because I wouldn't be wearing a black suit, so I'll probably put in it whatever color suit I'm wearing. I'll be like, no one can wear that. No men can wear
old
that.
Old school, no. When black for funeral, no. Old school. There are so many colors in the rainbow. What you can't find one of them for my wedding.
As a guy, you go to a wedding, you wear black.
It looked chic and it was beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the bride in?
Sorry, say that again?
I said, what was the bride in? A black dress?
Patricia's frozen again.
Have you frozen?
No, I'm not frozen. I'm waiting for you to answer, Gary. Oh, are you talking to me, Desmond?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the bride was in a white dress, but the theme was white and black. So, like, there was black accessories. And I think I can't remember if people were allowed to wear black or if I can't remember if she'd asked people to wear black, but it was set up black and white and it looked absolutely beautiful.
I've seen people in tuxedos, like black tuxedos at weddings in America.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It looks nice. Yeah, would I invite an ex to my wedding? Probably not. I don't want a big wedding. I want a tiny wedding because I think someone asked this question in No Bravado the other day. Do you want a house or do you want a big wedding? And it's just no brainer. House. Do you know what I mean? No brainer. As you get older, I think you dream about having the big wedding and all the rest of it. But as you get older, your priorities change. And I'm not spending I'm not spending 50 grand on no wedding. I'm not doing it. No.
I want a big wedding. You know what? Really, really funny.
You want a big wedding?
Hold on.
I've never heard a guy say that.
Hold on. The funny thing about this, and this will make people laugh. I would like to have a big wedding, but I don't really want to be there. I don't like being.
You don't want to be at your own big wedding.
It's not what I think.
I want a big wedding. I just don't want to be there.
No, I don't. I mean it that way. What I mean is that I don't. I like the idea of a big wedding, but I don't like being center of attention. If that makes sense. So I don't want to. It's something like I'd like the idea of all my family, my friends, everyone being there, but I just don't. I don't like people making me. But and most people say it's not about you; it's about your wife, so you don't have to worry about it. But it's that whole thing. That's the thing. I don't want to be like. That's why I don't like having parties and stuff because I don't want people come and talk to me.
Somebody else.
But I would. Yeah, I think the idea of a big wedding. I just think weddings are. Whenever I think about weddings, I think about when I was younger and I used to go to weddings and used to meet all your cousins you didn't even know, cousins that were from some certain places, from Manchester, Birmingham, and for me, it just brings back joy, memories of joy of running around in my trainers or my little mashing up my shoes and mum cussing me about, you just bought them shoes yesterday, why you kicking them out playing football or with stones out in the churchyard. It just brings back memories, and those memories mean a lot to me. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. It does. It makes 100% sense.
Christenings.
But you see them days there, we used to be able to get Hubba
Bubba for 10 pence.
We used to, I froze. Yeah, we used to be able to get Hubba Bubba and Fruit Teller and all these things for a penny. Cost of living now is completely different. Them memories could stay there. It's so expensive. Weddings.
No, it's not for me.
It's great though. I hear what you're saying, but like,
just the memory's not for me though. It's for the children. My kids and my cousins. It's that whole thing, and I think that's one of the things about for you were talking about earlier about the black community. Before everyone cousins, you'll meet your cousins from all over the country. They'll come down to a wedding or an event or christening, and it was just so. Even when I was maybe in my late 20s, and I see my cousin got married, and there was just like a bag of children running up in the grass. It just spoke so much. So I like that. The idea.
It is nice. It is nice.
Yeah.
But I ain't feeding these bag of children that are rolling around in the grass. I'm not doing it. But I'll do it.
See, I'd much rather take
put it this
a
way.
dozen. I'd rather take a dozen of my tightest people. Sorry, go on. I think there's a delay.
Because I'm on the delay. It's me that's on the delay. Sorry, guys. But put it this way. If it's going to leave us broke or without, we're not having the big wedding. If we've got the money to do it and it's not going to leave us feeling the pinch for 2 or 3 years after that, then yeah, have the big wedding. But if it is that actually it's a house or a big wedding, I'm choosing the house, no brainer. And the closest people to me, maybe 50 of us in a room, and we just eat and bubble up and have 100%. a great time when it's pure love in the room of people that are around you, but that love you. But if I had the money, then yeah. But if it's a case of either or, I'm not spending my life savings on one day.
Yeah,
when we've got a lifetime to live and cruises to take and the whole world to explore.
Trish, let me ask you a question. Sorry. And actually, all of you asked a question, right? If you was going to get married, how much would you spend on a wedding? What's the maximum, Desmond?
The maximum I would want to spend would probably be 10, 15, because I wouldn't want to do it in this country. I'd want to be able to take 12 of my tightest people, family members, etc.
Right,
have them come with, and then have the wedding somewhere else. And then come back and maybe keep like a wedding celebration type party where you've got a DJ. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you don't have to do it like a wedding type party with people.
15 grand.
And save money on that. And the 10 and 15 grand, to be fair, is on flights, hotel, wife's dress is going to take the majority of that budget. Well, no, I'm just keeping it real. I'm happy to wear whatever suit or go and hire something and wear that for the thing. Obviously, pay for the registrar or for the priest who's going to say your blessings out on the beach. Yeah, I am picturing somewhere hot and all of these kind of. Do you know what I mean? I don't really want to spend 25, 30 grand for a day that everybody else.
Ideas. Cool. Trish.
20, and again abroad.
Okay, and that
as well.
Whatever I can afford at the time.
Well, okay.
So if I'm like really super well off, then I'm gonna be a little bit more.
You're gonna splurge, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna splurge a bit more. But if I'm just like, then probably about 20. Like Trish, like probably about 20.
Yeah, 20, 20. I'm not spending 5 grand on a one dress.
Yeah.
All these kind of things that I would have probably have said that I would have wanted when I was younger. As you get older, and you know what I mean, 50s is in the horizon for me. Pension have to look upon. I want to really enjoy my life with my husband. I want to see things with them. I want to go places. I want to have experiences. So if we've got to be trying to catch up because we spent 100 grand on a wedding that we really couldn't afford, it's just going to put stress in the initial years of your marriage. I'm just not doing that. I'd rather say, like you said, 12 or 15 of us go on a cruise and where, you know what I mean, just
and
get married, like, just have a brilliant experience rather than blowing like 50 grand on a like. I'm not judging people. If you got it, do it, but if it's going to put you in financial hardship for the first part of your marriage, I say save your money, get a yard and go and travel.
And the wickedest thing is I've got to find out how this story ends, but I was being told last week about a couple that got married. They went out to a nice country manor, like country, big, massive type house. They hired that out. The wife turned up in a helicopter, not even a limo, not a Rolls Royce. She was dropped in a helicopter. Apparently, you know, the ambiance was absolutely lovely. And then it got to first course. And I personally feel that there was an accident in the kitchen, but it got to first course and people were served lamb chops and baked beans as a starter. Now, for me, it's that's exactly what I said. Lamb chop and baked beans as the starter. And for me, I mean, I didn't understand the combo because lamb chops and baked beans doesn't go together even in the privacy of your home, much less for your wedding or anything like that. Now, how you've gone and hired at a country manor and you've got a helicopter to bring the wife and then there is liquor on every table, but you're serving baked beans and lamb chops as the first thing, I don't know. But yeah, for me, it's that kind of opulence that I wouldn't spend unless I've got it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you spent all of that money and the food crushed the whole of your wedding because everybody went back to the hotel after the baked beans and lamb chops because ain't nobody was going to eat that. Some people went Mickey D, some people went Ken Fackery, but everybody went somewhere else of which to go and get food. So, yeah.
And guess what? Everyone was chatting the baked beans and the lamb chops there and then.
What's that?
Everyone was chatting the baked beans and the lamb chops whilst there was that KFC. So they spent all this money.
I bet you the children were happy.
Probably were. Yeah, for them, baked beans goes with everything. But yeah, as adults, I mean, even a salad with some crusty bread could have. Do you know what I mean? Where baked beans and lamb chops are gone? Like, really?
God, that can't work. Me and Patrick are getting married in Barbados. So.
Yeah, I saw that.
Tell me more.
Hey, we're going to
Barbados. Patrick. Bless him.
Sandals in Barbados. All roads lead to.
I'm here for it, mate. I wouldn't mind getting. I know my mum would love that. Getting married in Barbados. Oh, she'd be right up that. That'd be right up her street. Oh, dear. Oh dear. All right. So, what did our crew say? If the husband's okay with it, I'm sure there will be women I've slept with that will be invited to my wedding, laughing out loud. Yeah, because she's going to marry him. Men will be throwing rice with extra salt at the end.
Lumps of salt. What do you mean extra salt? It's still lumpy.
Depends if the husband knows. Sean Levy said, do you see how far we have fallen? I truly believe that we are the worst generation of adults for even asking if this sort of thing is okay, when only a few years ago it couldn't even be considered. Absolute madness. This is the sort of thing that is even being debated in a public forum.
Listen, Sean Levy is upset that we're even debating it.
Yo,
I think everything is up to being talked about. Everything is up for, seeing what other people think based on not everyone thinks the same. So, yeah, I'm not.
But that's what I said to him. I just thought, stop.
Oh yeah, so, to be fair, everything's up for debate. Well,
Jason Ward said in a Vibes Cartel voice, "Fuck off." I can't with this group. They're too funny. Only if the husband says it's okay. The husband might not know they have slept together. So
there's a lot of that goes around as well. There's a lot of people that are friends with their partner's friends that they've actually slept with, and they don't even know.
Is that wrong? Is that wrong though?
I worry about Gary,
No, hold on.
Don't be having them around and act like they're just your busy mate. Hold on.
If you, Trisha, dated someone when you was 17, right?
Right.
And 30 years later, you're still chatting to, why do you need to say, yeah, well, 30 years ago, I slept with that guy?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Why not?
But why?
Well,
yeah, I get
intentional deception.
It's not intentional.
It depends on the length of time. Like, if it was like
30
years ago, does it even matter?
Does it even matter?
He's not going to be at my wedding, though. Some guy that I slept with 20 years ago is not going to be at my wedding today. I might see you and Haley. Well, you're not coming to my wedding.
Trisha, you know what? Yeah, just keep it moving.
From afar and keep it pushing because they're my ex, right? You're not going to be at my wedding.
I know some girl whose guy she used to date with and was in a relationship with. Now he's the godfather to one of her children.
So say that again, babe.
A girl I know. She used to date this guy, and now he's the godfather of her children. One of her children, a child.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you could be good friends, I suppose. You could.
Yeah, and so how could you not invite him to your wedding?
I don't know. I suppose it just depends on what good friends are. I don't have many friends, as you know, Gary.
Yeah.
So do you understand what I'm saying? My circle is gonna be easy. My wedding list is gonna be easy because I know the difference between acquaintances and friends. So if we dated each other but we get on well, and I don't know, if we dated each other and he to the point where he's the godfather of my kids and he's my good friend.
That's what I'm saying.
Then yeah, I suppose. But yeah, I suppose so. But for me personally, I'm not in close proximity like that with anybody that I've dated. We're not necessarily enemies, but we're not in each other's pockets either. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear that. But
so if they saw me on the road, they wouldn't leave me to die, put it that way. But we don't speak to each other every day either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I just said, so I don't think. That's what I'm saying. It all depends. It all depends on what it is and stuff. You know. If I date them, I didn't date them. But I mean, if I've dated someone from 20 years ago, I had nothing to do with no one other than my 20-year ago past with you now. I'll tell you. If you ask me, I'll tell you. But if you're not asking, I'm not going, oh, yeah, 20 years ago.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's kind of redundant. I hear what you're saying.
Redundant. It's redundant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
You're telling me, oh, yeah. And then people start asking, well, do you want to do it again? Like 20 years ago, what? You know what I mean? I don't remember what happened.
Gary's funny, you know. I swear.
He's funny, but he's not even trying to be funny. That's what makes it.
I know,
really
but
funny. That's what makes
funny.
it extra funny.
Kills me. Oh dear. All right. Someone else read out the rest.
Go on, I'll read out my. It depends on a few things. How long ago this happened, what type of relationship they have now. I mean, if she would invite to her birthday party, then why not? Does the husband to be know of their history? Things like this. I don't think that there's a hard, fast rule here.
Everyone has a past. As long as you're open with me, I'm fine with it. Just don't hide shit from me. And I know that you are just friends. I'm good. If my husband to be isn't comfortable with it, then I'll respect his wishes. Respect it. Stay away from me.
What I do find strange is the need for the same narrative when we are all wired differently. I say, do what makes you comfortable. You don't want to speak on it respectfully. You're okay. You're okay with it, but don't take liberties. But this idea that you're a waste man if you do accept, or a simp if you don't, is funny to me, as we all like and want and need different things. Why would this be any different?
Right.
Why do we have to put labels on people because they think different to other people?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's just like, oh, you're weak or you're a waste man because, like, shut up, bruv. Let it go.
Yeah.
Really.
Now, this was, for me, this was just one subject matter that, you know, if you want to, doesn't make you a simp. If you don't want to, doesn't make you a waste man. It's down to personal preference. Yeah, two people might be perfectly fine with every single woman and man they've ever slept with being in their congregation, and other people don't want anybody there. It's whatever makes the two people saying I do comfortable.
Yeah.
But is that more about you? One person feeling insecure about something, because if I'm getting married to someone and I invite my ex, or she comes or he comes or whatever, then why am I worried about it? We're getting married. We're there together. It's like, what more do you want to show you that I'm together? It would probably be worse if I didn't tell my ex that I was getting married. I kept it undercover. Why are you telling
people? Yeah, I mean, the flip side to see that would be, well, if he's inviting the ex to the wedding, do I have anything to worry about? I mean, he's bringing her to watch me say I love somebody else unconditionally in front of all my family and friends.
Yeah.
You get me? That should actually fill you. Whereas if I didn't tell that person, you could actually see that as, well, he's not told her he's getting married, with a view that if he wanted to go back there, if his marriage ain't going well, she don't know.
Yeah.
Not valid? No, valid?
No, I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you. No,
yeah, you just don't sound very convinced. So I'll just hear you like,
I know, because I'm thinking about what you're saying.
Like, but try come to my. Natalie's like, but try that at my wedding.
I'm thinking,
fireman's lifted through the front door.
I'm thinking about what it is that you're saying, and I just think that, I don't know, because remember there was something that someone put in the group the other day or a couple of months ago that she wanted to invite her ex to the wedding so that it was almost, I can't remember what it said word for word, but it was almost like so she could get closure, and the guy in the scenario, the guy in the scenario didn't get it.
If you haven't got closure, why are you saying I do to another brother?
Right. So yeah, I just think sometimes there's, I don't know, if you're moving on and starting a new life, I don't think exes really need to be a part of that, depending on their relationship. You know, like Gary said, like there's one person that's the godfather of her children, which means they're very tight. So that relationship's transitioned from relationship to very tight friendship. But that's not often the case, if we're honest.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if we're paying flipping £70 or £80 a head for dinner, or in some cases £100 a head, we don't need to be feeding your hungry exes.
Listen, if we're doing £15 a head, if the person ain't comfortable with it, they shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be based on what we're spending. It should be based on the two people. If that person is going to be made to feel uncomfortable by your ex being there, then it shouldn't be that big a deal that they don't come. And if they feel comfortable by them being there, then come along. Right.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on what your priorities are as well. Because like I said, if I was offered, let's get married, but you can have a big wedding or we're going to get a nice house, I'm choosing the house. So
that's a bit
your
of a thing.
ex ain't coming into it's not good.
But you know, I hear what you're saying, but that doesn't really work. Because no disrespect, and it's not knocking you or anyone in the group. None of us are spending the money that we could afford to buy a house in that day. Because the most you can be spending on a wedding is for 45, 50 grand. We ain't getting no house for 45, 50 grand.
No, but that's a deposit.
No, but it's a decent deposit.
A decent deposit.
Where?
Who cares where you don't? Everyone's scrambling to live in London.
Not London, but
if
just
you
in
can get
general.
a decent house in Peterborough, or you can get
Bristol,
a decent house, whatever. Who cares? So long as you can live
60k will half pay off a mortgage, or 60k will give everybody else an opportunity to chat about the wedding that they came to and whether they felt it was good or not. Try now, you can spend 60k and make one thing be off, and all your guests will talk about the one thing that was off, and they won't see the 59k that you spent on everything else. Now, if you want to do that, do that. If it makes you feel whole, do that. If you want to go abroad, do that. If you want to register it, hear what? Everyone's missing the most important part, which is actually working on the bloody marriage. Do you get me? That's the most important bit. What you spent doing it and who was invited is irrelevant if you're not going to treat your wife or your husband properly. It's irrelevant. No?
Yeah, I would spend money if it wasn't like going to be a big loss. But if it was just, do you know what I mean? If it was just how it is, like, I get what you're saying, Desmond, but weddings are like, I've seen some real chaotic things happen around weddings, and they become the focal point. And obviously people are getting married and they're going to go into this marriage with the best of intentions for their respective partners. But the wedding becomes like a whole vehicle and a monster on its own. Does it not? That have you seen it? Where weddings just get out of control and it's like people lose sight of what it is that they're actually supposed to be doing. So I guess, like I said, when I was younger, I wanted a big wedding and I wanted this and I wanted that, this, that now. Now I'm older, I want me and my husband to have a great life and I want us to be comfortable. And if spending 60 grand on a wedding is going to leave us uncomfortable for the first 3 to 5 years of our marriage, I do not want to do it.
100%.
Simple. So yeah, that was the last.
Can I spend 20 grand on the? Can I spend 20 grand on the ring, though, Trish?
No, don't need to. I don't need a 20 for someone to come and chop off my arm for the ring.
Talk about that.
And the thing is, guys are mugging women out here. When I was growing up, the muggers them never used to touch the elders or women.
And the elderly.
Never used to happen. I've witnessed guys mugging women on the street. I'm not walking around here in Tottenham and Greater London with a 20 grand ring on my hand. What for? I want a nice ring, but not 20 grand. It doesn't have to be 20 grand either.
Talking about
that. What was the sports person? They took his £27,000 Rolex off his wrist. He was wearing it on his wrist. They robbed him and took it off. So I hear that.
They take your shoes and all sorts of shit off your foot when they're ready to rob you. I've seen it. I've heard it. Yeah.
51st date on Saturday, right? I was in a Rampage tent. I saw this, a big massive circle open up, and I saw these two guys thumping up this guy.
Fighting. Yeah, I was there.
What was going on?
Yeah.
So I was like, huh? So when I looked around, I saw the guy get up. He was like all over the place. Had this little kind of black thing on, like with no arms on him. So he went to the welfare tent. I didn't see nothing else of it. So I chatted to my brethren next day. I said, "Oh, guy goes, oh yeah, he was on my minibus going back." I said, "Hold on, but that was about 6 o'clock, and the minibus was at 10." He goes, "Yeah, he stayed." What they did? They robbed two guys robbed him of his Rolex. And I was asking him why he brought Rolex. Why did he bring a Rolex to 51st date for? Like, wearing it? He goes, he was chatting to one girl, and he thinks the girl set him up because he was chatting and they saw it, and then these two guys came from nowhere, started licking him up and punching him and fighting him.
Oh, so that's what it was about, because we were standing right behind them.
Oh, I'm beside you then, that. I didn't see you there. Yeah.
Yeah, we were standing right behind them, and I was like, oh, God, man. And then I was just like, later, and they were going for it. It was like a big circle that they made.
Did you see that? Because the guys had their face covered. I didn't realise what it was until after, when my brother said, oh, now it makes sense. And my brother was saying about how the guys in it for wearing. I said, well, Uggs. I said, brother, I wear like expensive watches, so don't tell me that man's gonna jump. I said, where were his boys? He goes, his boys went to a different tent and left. He was chatting to one girl and everything. I was just like, these are mad at
Very suspect.
Yeah, you should be able to wear what the hell you want, where you want, but like I said, I'd be a liar if I said I didn't want a nice ring, but does the person have to spend 20 grand on it? No. You can get a nice ring for a decent price. Seriously. Because this is what happens.
Yeah.
The same thump up that guy got for his Rolex, you think they're not thumping down women for the diamonds now? Of course they are. It's women are getting mugged to get out here in these streets by men. I saw one I say the other day, I said the other day to everything, but it was a good few years ago. And I saw this woman was walking through the park. A guy rolled up on a bike. I saw him, they exchanged, and then he snatched
the phone
chain off her neck and rode off. Wow. I went up to her.
It's like you can't have nothing nice and expensive again. Do you know what I mean? I remember growing up and, you kind of feel that, when I get a job and I get a good job, I'm going to be able to buy this and be able to buy. You can't even have that as a thought process for fear of people coming to rob you for it.
But don't look at race things. When I was younger, man was steaming man through train for years. That's been going on for years.
No, it's like but it's like Trish said, or Trish or Natalie. It's like they said, there was rules around this thing. Yeah, do you know what I mean? You didn't go for elderly people.
Women never got robbed.
Yeah, you would go for somebody who you felt had it and could replace it. Like you would know what that was, but those were the rules. You would go for somebody who you felt had it and could replace it. You wouldn't go for elderly women because you could be doing somebody's auntie, grandmother, mother, and those were the reasons why you didn't. Do you know what I mean? And plus the fact that they couldn't defend themselves, whereas those rules seem to have gone now. Everybody's up for grabs. And that's the difference.
The funny thing about it, Peter, I'm not taking aspersion. When you're talking like, I was one of them mad. I don't know about what rules because I weren't involved in that whole madness.
See, as I kept on saying, it was like, what?
They were talking about the rules like he was involved.
There were rules to this. There were rules to this thing.
I don't know. Rules.
Well, no bravado. I think everybody knows. People who know like old school foundation Trisha. There was a street Trisha there. Not that I was a robber, but I used to be around certain unsavories. So you see things, things. They were in my family.
Hold this.
So I'm not going to
hold this in case I get yabbed. Hold this in case I get yabbed. Just hold it.
Yeah. Just know. You know what I mean? You have to know how to carry yourself. So yeah, I've seen it all.
It is what it is.
I've seen it all.
But anyway, we've all turned different pages. Yeah. Some of us several pages.
Some of us have grown. Don't move with the bookie men no more.
No.
You know what I mean? But
Gary, you know what? Props to you for being able to make a statement like that and say, well, you've never known what that was about. You didn't know the rules. Props to you.
Don't get me wrong, right? I grew up on Birstall Road, round the corner from Trisha on the M50 in the South Tottenham, and I know the man. I know man from Pondies, them brothers, and all their bad for all of it. So I do what I've got.
Did you just say Pondies, Robert? Did you say the Pondies?
They're all their bad, yeah. I know all
Okay,
that.
yeah.
So I know all their bad. And I do that. As far as I'm concerned, I do that. I won't involved in their bad madness. Go do your thing. I put my hat on. I got Oasis. I got bagels. I'll talk to them outside bagels, and I'm going home.
See, whereas after bagels, I left and went across the road to Maxim's. That's the difference.
Yeah.
So you see things you're not supposed to see, innit?
Moving, yeah. It is.
Oh dear.
Yeah, keep it moving.
All right, guys. As usual, it's been 3 hours, you know, so you wouldn't think so.
That flew by.
Yeah,
It felt like an hour and a half.
Yeah, so it's been 3 hours we've been sitting on there discussing. It's always a pleasure. Always
100%.
a pleasure. You guys got to come back on again.
Yeah,
100.
Definitely. Me and
Yeah,
Gary
cool.
did the double up.
Don't forget, if you don't want to come to festival or Points East, let me know. I'll get you in.
Okay.
What festival?
All Points East.
What one?
All Points East.
Rainforest.
So All Points East. The only days you're going to want to come to is the 18th or the 26th
of August.
Yeah.
Have they got tables there so I can sell my things?
No, it's not. That's not one of those. It's a festival. They got like big what do you call it? Selling food and that. No, like merchandise really.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
So first days,
but I definitely want to. I just want to be everywhere to sell my wares, mate.
18th is Stormzy,
the 18th, this
Lounge and all them, and then on the 26th is Erica Badu.
Okay.
I've seen Erica Badu a million times. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't really
I've seen Stormzy once. I'd like to see him again.
To be honest with you,
text me the details, Gal.
His new album's dead anyway. He's gonna be doing all that singing stuff. So.
You know, I like Stormzy, but I'm not a Stormzy music fan.
Listen,
I like
no.
Yeah, I like what he's. I like what he's. I don't like his music. I'll keep it real.
And I do like some of his tunes.
Where do you know me from? That's it.
I like some of his music, but
that's some of it. Too Big for Your Boots and them tunes all right. Them tunes all right. Yeah, be.
I liked it at the time, so it's on my Apple playlist, but I just skip past it every time now. Like I don't like it now. Do you know them ones that it sounded good to me at the time, but now I'm just like,
Listen, y'all can call Stormzy's tunes. I couldn't tell you one. So
yeah, me Stormzy.
But I like what he's achieved as a man from the ends. Yeah. From that point of view, yeah.
And I like the way he ate up Wiley.
You like that?
He mullered Wiley. It was fucking hilarious.
What, did they have a fight or
with
something?
His cup, his like tea mug and stuff.
No, they did. They clash. They were clashing at one stage.
Verbal battle.
Yeah, it was very good. Lyrically, Wiley's wicked.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good little
he
little battle.
ate up Wiley. Yeah, he ate up Wiley. Sorry.
That must be somewhere on YouTube.
They did
yeah. Stormzy, just type in Stormzy and Wiley beef, and all of them they will all come up like his, and then Wiley's things, and then Stormzy ate him, and in his last one he was like, "I'm not going to even respond to any more of your things. So this is the last thing I'm going to say to you," and then spanked him throughout the whole of the song. Just spanked him. Ooh. I said, "Wiley, forget it. I love Wiley, but forget it. You've lost this one." Stormzy chewed him.
I'm gonna watch that whilst I'm filling my belly.
Hilarious. Watch that.
T-Smooth said he couldn't get at the plantation.
You just ate.
I need to eat again. Hello, I'm a growing lad.
I said I'm hungry.
Oh my God! Your missus has got a bloody hard slog against ahead of her to feed you, boy. You just ate.
What is it? What is it? She says, "I'd rather clothe you than feed you." I think that's how it goes.
Hey, didn't you hear Desmond say for the whole thing his love language was
food? Yes. Quickest way to my heart is to my belly.
Yeah, just feed him and he's all right.
Listen, feed me, I'm good.
Also, before I go, to say one thing. Have you like if you ain't watched it yet? I know you don't not watch much TV, but watch that Idris thing, Hijack.
Okay.
Where is it?
It's on Apple thing. It's
Okay.
really,
I
really
was
good.
looking for it on Netflix.
It's
I was like,
really,
where's this
really,
fucking thing?
it's really, really good. There's a website called the Flickr.com.
Flickr,
Go in there,
okay.
you can watch it there. Yeah.
The
Go watch it.
Flickr.
It's
Okay,
really,
that's
really
where
good.
it
Okay, wicked.
is.
It's really, really good. You know what I mean, when I watched it, I was like, it's a thriller, but it's not. It's done really well. I don't know if any of you watched In the Line of Duty.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was kind of similar to that, but it's cool. The ending's not as good as you want it to be, but it's not bad that you get vexed. If that
Is
makes
it a
sense.
film or
Right.
series?
The series 7 episodes.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically, it's about a plane being hijacked from Dubai to London, and each hour is an hour of the flight.
Okay.
So first hour, second hour, all the way through.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, but there, and
Okay.
it's good the way they've done it is quite good. Yeah, good. And
Yeah,
good.
T Smooth is
I
saying
don't
it's
like
good to watch.
some of Idris's things, but I did really like this. I was like, see, even T Smooth said it's a good watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we'll go watch it.
All right.
Yeah. All right, let me go and watch
Well,
some TV.
people, it's
Thank you,
always
guys.
emotional. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much for the
Exactly.
invite.
Adios.
And I'll see you soon. You lot phone
Yes.
me in the week, yeah?
Yeah.
Will
All
do. Will do. See you later night, people.
All right.
No.
See ya. Oh, hello, love.
Oh, yeah, my back just started hurting randomly. It started anytime I moved a certain way, it started feeling like So I was just like this the whole time.
Yeah, the exercise. We're at that age now, boy, where we
Oh
can't
my
take it for
God.
granted. Things are getting rickety. Stretching
like,
them
what's
need to
going
go on and all these things.
Proper rickety.
Yeah.
Proper. That's not normal. It's just not normal.
Yeah.
It's getting out of hand now.
Oh, bless you. All right, we'll go touch your toes. Anything you want to say to the people before we leave?
Thank you for tuning in, guys. And sticking with us. We had a nice number of people today. If you do want to come on, let us know. Just jump on. It's not scary at all. It would be nice to see some of our noble guardians
not.
jump on. Let us know.
It would be.
Just DM us.
I'd love T Smooth to come on. Come and chat to us, T Smooth. It would be great.
Yeah.
DM us and let us know. The posts come in. We're behind on the post. We've just got some moderators. Nikki and Charlene are going to be moderating for us because we are behind. At the back end, we've got 1.3 thousand posts that need to be approved, but we still, some of them are, like I put a note up today because I got 2 inboxes with someone saying, how comes you approve certain man's rave post but you don't approve other man's rave posts? And I was like, because the group is not for advertising raves. The reason why we let through some of the rave posts is because those DJs have been on the show. So if people, and it helps to make the show. So our kind of give back then is to promote whatever project they're on or what they're doing when they come onto the show. So
people don't want to see it here. That's the problem. They want to debate, and if we keep just letting through every single rave promotion, it comes just like a selling fest, and people will switch off. We'll lose our engagement, and we can't.
Yeah, it's not that. So the people who come on the show, we then will let through some of them, and I don't even let through all of the rave posts. I let through some. So we want to talk to more of you. Keep sending in your posts. Like I said, we've got 1.3 to approve at the moment, but some of that is made up of posts that we can't approve. So we'll sit down and talk with our moderators, but look out for Charlene Samuels and look out for Nikki Omar. They're going to be moderating and stuff like that as well. So keep sending your stuff in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Now I wanted to ask you I'll ask you offline, but I want to do shorts with you. So yeah, we'll see how we can formulate some shorts because I've tested it, like some with mum and like little short debates with friends, and they get good engagement. So it'd be good to do some shorts
Some
as
shorts.
well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then, love.
All right then.
I'm
See
gonna
you
go.
later.
Remember, book Stamp. You can't see it on camera, but Stamp, Stamp, Stamp. He hasn't got much tickets left, but holla if you want to go. It's gonna be
Holler.
amazing.
Holler. See you
Good
later, guys.
night.
I'm gonna go and sort out my back. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Really uncomfortable.
All right, babe.
All right then.
Wish you well.
Oh,
Bye.
you too. See you later.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.